Well, hello. It's Brother Ron in the house. Brother Ron in the house. Get them likes up, people. I'm always delivering quality content on a consistent basis. I'm not late. I'm just on time. Y'all don't understand how the universe soul God works. It's not time. Time is an illusion. It's all about space and place. Space and place, folks. Welcome to another wonderful, edutaining, infotaining edition of We All Be. The Art of It Stinks. Brother Ron speaks. Thought provocateur number one. I'm just here to really get y'all to do your own research and critical thinking and analysis. We heighten the contradictions here on We All Be. News free Dixie for the 21st century. I'm not late. I'm sorry I'm not late. It takes a lot. I'm going to say this. It takes a lot to do these things. I know it looks easy to do. I like to run my mouth. I'm loquacious, but quite frankly, it takes a lot out of you to do things like this, because I understand now that just because you give a lot don't mean you get back a lot in return. So you got to understand or understand why you do certain things. You know, like I'm a very social animal to a certain degree. I don't have no problem moving in large crowds. I don't have no anxieties about that. But I like to spend a lot of time alone to reflect, to think, to rejuvenate, to recharge, to do my own version of relaxing. And when the universe soul God use you as a conduit, you get a lot of stuff flowing through you, in and out of you. I'm open to receiving a lot of information. The ancestor stars do talk to me, and they talk to you too, but a lot of y'all ignore it because y'all don't have an understanding of your intuition. You ignore even your own body when your body tries to warn you of things that may happen to you. It's like kind of like when your car had the check engine light on and you choose to ignore that for months until one day, in the most inconvenient way, things fall apart. But you have beginning warnings. The check engine light been on for a minute. Just like with your body gives you warnings, gives you signs, and you choose to ignore. The ancestors speak. Energy can't kill energy. Energy is beyond category. And so when people ask me, do I miss Baba Dick Gregory? Nope, I don't, because he's everywhere. I mean, it's amazing. I look at TV shows or movies, his name pops up out of nowhere. I mean, I was listening to somebody's podcast today, and somehow their guest talked about how Dick Gregory, of all people, helped them elevate their career, take them to the next level. I was not expecting to hear Dick Gregory's name being dropped in that podcast. So the way the universe soul God moves is amazing. Like Dick said, sometimes when the universe soul God uses you, it leaves no fingerprints or evidence. And the life of Baba Dick Gregory is a case in point, a case in study, because Dick Gregory has done have done so many things, mean so many things to so many different people. If I told you all the things that Dick Gregory done, you wouldn't believe it. You thought he was some type of superhero or some mythological creature or character, some fictional character created by Hollywood. But Hollywood can't create a story as great as Dick Gregory's. And that's why I'm glad that the one and only Dick Gregory is now available to stream on Showtime platform. And y'all need to check it out. It is very much worthy to be checked out. Let me just check. I hope y'all can hear me. Hope y'all can hear me loud and clear. I'm not late. I'm just on time. Y'all the ones late. There's so much shit. Excuse me, so much stuff that be on my plate. It's like people say, well, you share so much information. I don't really share everything I get. It's hard, man. I mean, when you open, a lot of people see it's easy for folks to live when you're not receptive to stuff. When you don't practice a spirit or develop a spirit of discernment, it's easy for you to just go through life. I mean, it's weird to me. I could check on my social media timeline, and there's a handful of adults, they say they bored. How can you be bored and you a grown person in a world like this? It's so much stuff to get into. What, you have no intellectual curiosity? I mean, why are you bored and you grown? I don't understand how you could be a full grown person and be bored in this matrix. It's so much stuff I get into. I'm never bored. Even while resting, I'm never bored. You understand? So I don't understand. That speaks to arrested development in a lot of our people, in particular black folks. We are under a state of arrested development. Let me check the. That speaks to arrested development Okay, sound good. I love it. I actually like listening to my voice. I love my voice. Actually, like sometimes I take myself to sleep listening to me. Puts me in a calm state. Like I said, I just found out. It's Black Music Month. It's not Pride Month. It's Black Music Pride Month. Okay. It's Black Music Pride Month. June is Black Music Pride Month, and I just found out as a grown adult who my relatives are. Now I'm not naming all my relatives, but I know I had a near-death experience about a decade ago, and this disembodied voice called the source told me, Brother Ron, you check out your bloodline, particularly through your grandmother. Your paternal grandmother has a unique bloodline, and her birthday was on July the 4th. Rest in power to my queen mother, Letha, from Kansas City. Actually went to a last breathing birthday ceremony back in July 4th, 2016. It was amazing. It was like a movie because I went there. I decided to drive 800 plus miles to Saginaw, Michigan in the early morning hours of the 4th of July, 2016, because I knew that she was not long for this world. I just had a feeling, an intuition that she was not long for this world. So I drove up there, got into her hospital room after hours. It's dark, lights turned off. Soon I made my entrance. She was like in a half sleep slumber or whatever. She looked up, had kids like a kid. Her eyes went really bright. They lit up like a kids on Christmas morning. She couldn't believe it was me, her long lost grandson, Brother Ron. Then as soon as we connected, the city started letting out these fireworks. It's like a movie scene. Your life is a movie. Baba Dick Gregory taught me that your life is a movie, that you decide the theme and genre of that movie. Your life is a movie. Remember that, because Dick Gregory life was most definitely a feature-length movie, maybe a limited series, docu-series, so much stuff the brother did. But I connected with my grandmother. We had an amazing talk, and I knew that was going to be the last birthday that I would see her alive. I reconnected with her for her birthday. I surprised her down in Atlanta for her birthday back in 2013, and like I ain't see my grandma in like it was the last millennium that I saw my grandma. It's funny. It's been over 20 years at that point in 2013 since I last saw my grandmother. So it was good to reconnect with her. And like I'm not really close to my father. Well, it's funny. Growing up, I was raised by my mama folks, my mom's people, her parents, her people, my people. But as I became an adult, I'm trying to figure out my connection with the other side, my father's side of the family. Because I wasn't raised around them. My parents divorced when I was about 2 years old. They met in college, which is interesting. They met at University of Tennessee, Knoxville. My father's from Saginaw, Michigan. Stevie Wonder and Serena Williams, they're from Saginaw. A lot of other interesting Black folks from Saginaw, Michigan. My mom's from Memphis, Tennessee. About the amazing Memphis, Tennessee. They met at University of Tennessee, Knoxville. Come to find out that my father's 8th grade math teacher is my mom's aunt. My great aunt Irma was his 8th grade math teacher. Now that's the way. It's no coincidence, right? The universe conspires all the time to create unique people. And like my uncle Herbert told me, Ron, you the best thing that you and your father, that your mother and your father ever created. Between them, you their greatest accomplishment. And wow, that's weird to say, but it's not weird to say because I look at how I've been blessing people by my life, like the things I do with my life, sharing the information, giving people, feeding people. Like Dick Gregory anointed me the feeder before he passed away. He said I was the feeder, and I take that. I received that because I'm always feeding my people information, and I love Black people. It's an honor to serve Black folks, but sometimes your people don't love you back, and it is what it is. It comes with the territory, but to serve Black people is to love Black people, and you're an exceptional human being. Because when you serve your people, they have a short-term memory. Like they'll hold one thing against you. You could do 1,000 things right for your people, but if you mess up one time, they'll hold that one thing against you. Black people kind of strange, but white folks get a pass, and that's another story that we're going to talk about even in the show, and some more shows coming up. But yeah, it's fascinating, man. I be in deep thought about a lot of stuff. Now I don't be late. I just got a lot of information I'm trying to get through. Like when I wake up in the morning, it takes me about 40 minutes. They're like, man, I'm stuck in Groundhog's Day movie or something. Same old, just trying to get through the day, but trying to do more good than harm as I pass through this way. Thank you, Black Voton Reloaded. We love you madly. Yeah, it's worth checking out, man. I'm about to look at it for a third time. I went to sleep early this morning, but man, I saw that at the Tribeca Festival this year. It's the 20th anniversary of the Tribeca Festival, started by Robert De Niro. Up in Tribeca. This year they did it differently. It's the 20th anniversary, but they had it spread throughout New York City. Because normally they have everything centralized in Tribeca. I think that's in the financial district, Wall Street, and all this stuff is in that district. But they spread it out to they show a lot of love to all the boroughs, Queens and Brooklyn, and all the other boroughs. They got love this year from the Tribeca Festival. And I was able to see that at the Battery Park, the premiere of the one and only Dick Gregory. And we're going to talk about that right now. I'm just setting up everything, getting through the YouTube stuff. It was amazing. Like, you know, when I went to Tribeca, like I had, thankfully, like now I got the boot removed from my left foot. My left foot is officially healed. Thank to that wonderful wound care specialist, Dr. Sam Delk, and his team for helping me get through that. I never thought I'd be wearing a boot on my foot in my lifetime, but like after 2020, you should always expect the unexpected when it comes to life situations. And so I went to Tribeca Festival. They don't call it the film festival no more because they expanded their reach to different types of media, like podcasts and things like that. So it's just a celebration of the arts, you know. And I went there on that Friday. I checked into my hotel at the Conrad Hilton downtown. Amazing hotel, beautiful hotel. Cost a lot of money, but that bed is worth it. Like the type of bed they had in my hotel room was like you could have killed a whole bunch of people, but went to sleep like a baby that night. That's how good that bed was. That bed was amazing. So that bed, the money was well spent on the bed. But I could have sworn I thought I saw a guy that looked like Robert De Niro outside the hotel waiting for his car with one of his people, like a person, one of his assistants or something like that. I thought that was Robert De Niro. I asked the doorman. I said, "Hey, is that Bobby De Niro, man?" The brother said, "No, that's not him." Because the thing about it, Conrad Hilton would normally have all the press interviews. That was like the headquarters for the Tribeca Festival as far as media. But this year they didn't have it there. You know, they didn't have all the press stuff at the Conrad Hilton. But I kept on squinting my eye looking at this dude. I said, "That's got to be Robert De Niro, man." I'm looking at his profile. Because like with celebrities, it's hard to tell what they are. Because you used to look at them on the movies. You know, the movie, you know, the TV ads, pounds, it distorts the people's image. Also, a lot of these celebrities get, you know, cosmetic surgery or they get Photoshop. They wear makeup, so it's hard to tell what they look like in real life. But the dude had a profile like De Niro, so I approached the guy. I said, "Hey, man, are you Robert De Niro?" He said, No, not Robert De Niro, no. His handler started laughing. Yeah, like he one of them yes guys. No, he's not De Niro, not De Niro. I said, "Okay." But he said he do get mistaken for De Niro a lot, right? And he said he was down in Mexico and he was dating a black woman at the time. They thought the black woman was De Niro's wife, Hightower, the lady named Hightower. And they said they got the red carpet treatment. So I look at the guy and said, "Nah, he's not De Niro. He reminds me of De Niro, but he's not De Niro, but who knows?" Because Robert De Niro is notorious for being very shy in person. Even if you look at De Niro's interviews, he don't do a lot of talking. So I know people who met De Niro, especially I knew a black woman, beautiful sister from Mississippi who was an actress back in the day, and she was on Saturday Night Live, and De Niro just really was spitting with her. He was blushing and stuff. Okay, he loved the sisters. He got a thing for, it's like Bob Dylan got a thing for black women. A lot of these powerful white men, David Bowie, or Bowie, whatever the cat name was, married to a mom. So I look at it and say, "Nah, that's not De Niro." I wish I should have took a picture with him and let y'all decide if that was De Niro. Okay, he could have been. My sister said he could have been pulling your leg because he is an actor. I don't know, but he said he was De Niro. I took him at his word. The doorman, who would know Robert De Niro because he'd been working there for a while and he's familiar with Robert De Niro and the Tribeca Festival, he said it wasn't De Niro either. So, you know, but the funny thing about life is if I keep on doing what I'm doing, I may meet Robert De Niro one day. And I'll make sure I take a picture that time. But anyway, before we get started into the review, just want to play my tribute to Bobby D. Gregory. I went to his grave back on June 23rd, this past month. When I'm in the DMV area, I'm always going to Bobby Dick. I always make a pilgrimage to Bobby Dick Gregory's grave in Maryland. He's buried at Fort Lincoln Cemetery. Fort Lincoln Cemetery in Bladensburg, Maryland. That's Prince George's County, Maryland. Not that far from DC, right at DC. And he's been there since 2017. But what I didn't realize, I did a tribute back in 2018 at where I thought he was still buried at. But that was a temporary crypt that he was put in. Because like his son told me, Dr. Christian Gregory, who's the executor of Dick Gregory's estate, he's like a bulldog. He really does a great job in guarding and preserving his father's amazing legacy. I remember I interviewed him back in 2018 in DC, and he told me, hey, I saw the tribute you did to my father, but he's no longer there. But he never expounded upon where he was actually located. So I guess they moved him out to Massachusetts. But they got a family cemetery up in Massachusetts, right? So fast forward to 2021, I went to the offices of Fort Lincoln Cemetery, and they gave me a map. If you try to find Baba Dick Gregory grave, just go to Fort Lincoln Cemetery during their office hours and ask for directions. They'll give you a map. They'll draw it out. They'll show you on the map where he's located. It's not a bad thing. It's easy to find once you get the information. But also in the video I'm about to show you all, I include the map at the end of the video. So it's not that hard. He's actually buried in the historic building, a historic mausoleum. Excuse me. The place where he's buried is called the Historic Mausoleum. He's in Building 15. That's the Historic Mausoleum, Building 15. And it's right by a Liberty Bell replica. The Liberty Bell replica is in the middle or in the center of the Historic Mausoleum. So it's like going just straight back to almost to the end of the cemetery, and you can't miss it. It'll be on the right-hand side coming from the office. Because where Dick was at originally was at the little church. Is a little church on the hill. They kept him in a crypt that was temporary. When I was there back in 2017, saw them flowers and wreaths and stuff. He was there temporarily, but they moved him to the Historic Mausoleum. But my understanding is they're going to put him in the National Cathedral that Christian Gregory is working on. Dr. Christian Gregory is working on having his father interred in the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. because Dick Gregory home was Washington, D.C. His wife lived up in Massachusetts, but he lived in D.C. And the people, the black people, love Dick Gregory in D.C. They love him so much so that he is now in a mural on the side of Ben's Chili Bowl. They used to have Bill Cosby's mural on that side. They erased Bill Cosby and put up Dick Gregory, Dave Chappelle, Prince, I think Chuck Brown, the King of Go-Go. His name Chuck Brown, Bustin' Loose. Y'all correct me from DC, but that's funny. And I'm gonna do a Cosby show and have some people on as well in the future dealing with the Cosby situation. But anyway, let me play this video. And thank you all for being patient, for tuning in. Like these shows, I always say I'm gonna do an hour show. It could end up being 3 hours. A lot of time my movie reviews be longer than the actual movie. I'm gonna try to keep it at 2 hours, y'all. Lord help me. I be saying I be struggling trying to get on. But when I get on, I get on. I can't stop talking. I can't help myself. Yeah. So this We All Be News Free Dixie for the 21st century. This is Brother Ron coming to y'all. We all be in it to win it. Another one of Baba Dick Gregory's final resting places. Even in death, this dude can't stay still in one spot for long. They keep on moving him around. He refused to stay idle and still, even in death. He is a one-man movement beyond the grave. So I was paying my respects to Baba Dick Gregory on my way back to Memphis. Today's date is June 23rd, 2021. We are at the Fort Lincoln Cemetery in Prince George's County. Now, when y'all saw me last, I was over some other spot in Fort Lincoln, but Dick Gregory said they can't keep his body down. No grave can hold Baba Dick Gregory, so he's moved over here now. And I understand there are plans to move him to the national, excuse me, the National Cathedral in D.C., which was his headquarters while he was alive, trotting the earth. But legends never die. Energy can't be dead. Legends never die. And Baba Dick Gregory is truly, in the words of Duke Ellington, beyond category. Thank you, Baba, for the many lessons. You was my real drill sergeant. You told me one time, Brother Ron, we soldiers in the army. If you don't like the assignment, get the hell out the army. This path, this life that we lead, like Dr. King said, human salvation lies in the hands of the creatively maladjusted. It's not for the weak-willed or the faint of heart, but of courageous spirit, born not because of lack of fear, but because in spite of the fear, you keep moving and pushing. It's like Baba Dick Gregory said, you got to be like turtle, you know, hard on the outside, soft on the inside, but willing to stick your neck out all the same. Be like turtle. Does not be like just water. And Baba Dick Gregory said, drink your 8 ounces of water a day. Let us be reminded what Baba Dick Gregory said. 3 things that are killing people. 3 things that are killing people. Lack of water, lack of sleep, and lack of exercise. Lack of exercise, lack of sleep, and lack of water. So stay hydrated, keep moving and pushing. Get your rest at the same time and know that the best is yet to come. Thank you, Baba, for being that example. You have provided the blueprint on how to live a truly purpose-driven life. And I thank you for picking me, one of many, be one of Baba's chosen. Whoever had listened to his rants and raves and lectures and records and video, whatever, read his 16 books, you are a part of Baba's chosen army. We are an army of many. And know that we do things out of love because we are all, like Baba Dick Gregory, true humanitarians. You see how it works, right? So thank you, Baba, Richard, Claston, Gregory, also known as Dick Gregory. We thank you so much, Baba. You are blessing us from beyond the grave. People always ask me, or sometimes ask me, do you miss Baba? How can I miss something or someone who's so omnipresent? He's everywhere. His fingerprints are everywhere. His energy is everywhere. It's contagious. You know, so remember that. It's hard to believe that one man did so many things and means so many things rather to so many people. If I told you all the things that Baba Dick Gregory done, you'd think he was a mythological character or a superhero. And he was all of that and then some. Baba Dick Gregory knew that when you believe in something that's true and that you know who you are, that your truth, if you choose to live it, does not need to be validated by anyone's ignorance. So with that said, thank you, Baba, so much. Job well done. The marathon continues. And know once again, in the words of Duke Ellington, a live you madly. And thank you for allowing me to carry your message, to help amplify your message. Like Baba told me in Kansas City back on August 20th, 2016, who knew that a year later he would be dead or become a righteous ancestor, will be ascending to a righteous ancestor. He told me, Ron, I'm more popular right now than I was in my prime. And because of shows like yours, We All Be, and other shows and the internet that helped me to amplify my message, this is the reason. And he said, thank you. And you got to understand, before you had the internet, Dick Gregory was social media. He was a one-man social media outlet. He exposed so many conspiracies that proved to be true. And sometimes being a truth teller, or all the times rather, being a truth teller is a very, very lonely existence. Like the old biblical saying, to paraphrase that, a prophet is always without honor among friends and family and in homeland. So Dick was a true father of humanity, and I want to thank him once again for setting that example because Baba Dick actually outled a lot of his friends. He was, cell shock. Think about it. He lived twice the age and then some of his good friends, Medgar Evers, who died at 37, Malcolm and Martin, who both died at 39. He actually outlived all them guys. He might have had survivor's guilt, but he didn't waste his time feeling sorry for himself or being down and out. He got out there, he got in where he fit in. He made a place where he didn't fit in because, like I said, like Dr. King said, human salvation lies in the hands of the creatively maladjusted. I am in the creatively maladjusted, and I got my orders from General Baba Dick Gregory to keep it pushing, and the marathon continues. Thank you so much, Baba. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like he said, one of the things I keep learning is that the secret of being happy is doing things for other people. One love, everybody. One love. Let's keep it going. As of 2021, family, you can visit Baba Dick Gregory at Fort Lincoln Cemetery in Prince George's County, Maryland. He's way back in the cemetery. In the mausoleum section, the historic mausoleum section, there's a Liberty Bell as a centerpiece of the historic mausoleum section, building 15, as of June 23rd, 2021. This is where Baba Dick resides, where Baba Dick resides. His final resting place. This man, no grave can hold his body down. But once again, Fort Lincoln Cemetery, historic mausoleum, building section, building 15, historic mausoleum, building 15, Fort Lincoln Cemetery in Prince George's County, Maryland. Thank you so much. And we love you madly. Yeah, that's interesting. Let me see. I'm gonna cut off this stuff here. Yeah, that's I can't believe that August will be what 4 years since he passed on or became or transitioned to a righteous ancestor. But like I said, he's omnipresent. I don't miss Dick Gregory like a lot of people say they miss Dick Gregory. Now I was at cemetery and that was a little short thing, but I was at cemetery about 4 hours. That 4 hours went by pretty fast. Like I said, I love going to cemeteries around the country. I try to find like historic cemeteries to go to meditate and to eat lunch. People think that might be strange. Yeah, I mean, but dead folks can't complain about you eating, smacking your lips or smacking or eating with your mouth open. They never try to get any of your food. They mind their business. They dead. But are they really dead? My thing, I like to meditate. And when I think about people or their remains, the spirit is somewhere else, perhaps. But I think about the dreams that were never realized, the regrets. And my thing is, you can live a well-lived life and still have regrets. It's not, you can have regrets and live an amazing life. Dick Gregory led an amazing life. He led many lives, very amazing. But I promise you, he had regrets. That's just human. That's just to be human. I mean, but he did so much for people. By the time he was 41, and shout out to Andre Gaines, who's 41, who was the visionary behind this project, the one and only Dick Gregory. He was the visionary behind this. I remember when Andre reached out to me back in, I think, 2015, talking about he was trying to do a documentary on Dick Gregory. I didn't know who this cat was, because y'all must have forgot, like the Roy Jones rap. Y'all must have forgot it was Brother Ron that really started interviewing Dick Gregory and making it, hype up for Dick. I was interviewing Dick Gregory at that time since 2011. I've been knowing Dick for 6 years. Start interviewing him, I believe March of 2011, all the way up to almost the end. But it really, when we did that Django review, that went viral. That really put Dick Gregory back on the map. See, I got the receipts. It's like Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy tell y'all something. I said, he over exaggerating, but then he come with the receipts. I'm like the Soldier Boy of this thing, but it really was my platform. And Dick telling me to share his contact information with the people, that really started this Dick Gregory reemergence. And also, Dick Gregory was in the prime of his Uranus return. Y'all need to Google up what a Uranus return is. It's kind of like you live long enough to receive your flowers. Like when you start approaching your 80s, you are in this period known as Uranus return, where you start getting your due, your flowers. People start recognizing you. And Baba Dick Gregory lived long enough because he was a marathon man. Remember, he ran across the country from New York to L.A. The man is a marathon man. So he ran that race. He ran it well. And so he started getting his recognition. So that's not an old exaggerated said that we played a part in that, because I remember when I put out that Django review he did, I didn't think nothing of it. I talked to him about an hour. I try to, because I felt bad about the thing we did in D.C. at the Sokofa bookstore. I thought the audio was okay. I had people with me say, the audio was fine. The audio was shitty. It wasn't fine. And it was embarrassing. But I redeemed myself, I think. When you doing stuff, sometimes things don't go as planned, but God is always in the plan. You see how it works. So, I did this thing with him. Didn't think nothing of it. I was coming off this real bad breakup. The Sagittarius woman broke my heart. I don't know why she broke my heart, but I think the way, that's another story. But anyway, I mean, I saw Django around Christmas and whatever. I asked Dick Gregory about Django. So we talked on the phone about a little bit over an hour. I said on the interview, put it out. Next thing I know, the next day, Dick calling me with Lil on the phone. Say, hey, man, you know that thing we did? I said, what thing? The Django thing, huh? I said, yeah. Man, everybody's been blowing my phone. Lil getting calls all around the world. Quentin Tarantino, Jamie Foxx, Reginald Hudlin, they all saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I just want to thank you for putting it out there, man. I'm getting all these phone calls everywhere. He said, whenever you need for me to come on your show, just get in touch with Lil and I'll do it. And he was a man of his word from that day. And I remember people was calling me this right before the Obama inauguration. So when Dick went to the, Obama inauguration, they treat him with a lot of respect. It's the second term, right? I voted for Obama twice. I went to both inaugurations, and I went into the red going to the inaugurations, man. But anyway, like I said, I'm critical of Obama. I believed in him in first. I even got a $300 speeding ticket to vote for him a second time. Only, he didn't win my state of Tennessee, but I was willing to get a $300 speeding ticket for to count my vote. So don't tell me about my thoughts on Obama and crap like that. But Dick was, it was a renaissance period. Like he talked about in the documentary how he had performed for an empty audience or auditorium. Then all of a sudden he's in demand everywhere. Young people recognizing Dick Gregory. It's like the thing about it is you got to remember when he gave up his career the first time, he went to the colleges and universities. He left the nightclubs and went to the colleges and universities and connected with the young people. Just like towards the end, he started reconnecting with the young people, with the youth. Cause I remember when I went to a bodega with Dick Gregory back in October 2016, this days after his birthday, and we did that epic interview that went very viral. I don't trust the YouTube algorithms and view counts. Cause I've been seeing people rip my stuff off my channel and get millions of views, but I could barely get a couple thousand or 50,000 views. But I look at people getting like millions of views off my content that I had to, go out and get. And the young guys, especially young black males, they love Dick Gregory. They lit up when they saw Baba Dick, when they read, hey, yo, son, it's Baba Dick, son. All that stuff. So it's fascinating, this phenomenon known as Dick Gregory. The many lives, the many reinventions, the many, second and third acts that he had, in his lifetime. He's still heaven. And I love the fact of this documentary because, it's such a great introduction to Dick Gregory to younger generations and a refresher for those who've been fans for a long time. But I actually had a chance to see it. I went ahead and thank y'all for giving me money back on my Showtime subscription. I want to support the thing. Let me read some of y'all. Okay, thank you, Brother Steve. We love you madly. We love you madly. Thank y'all, man. Y'all gave me back my Showtime money, subscription money, so it was worth it buying that Showtime. Yeah, Nori Neal, the documentary came out on Sunday. It's available on Showtime on streaming platforms. Just trying to get through. Thank you, D-Win. We love you madly. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Like I said, these shows, man, I be trying to get y'all the information. A lot of kids, they like to, I be looking at people. I love YouTube. I like hearing other people speak their minds. I know I talk a lot, but I love when people speak their mind. It takes one to know one. We love you madly. Thank you so much. You're a gift from God. We all gifts from God. We all God's favorites, all right? Never forget that. We the chosen ones. Well, as they say, by any means necessary. Very much appreciated. Thank you, brother Black Voltron. Oh, Black, I don't know if you brother. I'm gonna call you Black Voltron Reloaded. Yeah, it got my foot, man. I drove 1,000 miles and 18 hours on the road, and I went to the doctor office a couple hours later. They said I was healed. And I talk about, I don't do, like the thing, it's like Dick Gregory. When he was fasting and stuff, people asking he consult a doctor. He said, why nobody consult doctors when they snorting lines of cocaine and smoking cigarettes? You gotta learn your body. I know my body better than anybody else. When I first went to the doctor, I had issues with the healing, not because it couldn't heal, but because I was doing foolish stuff like running 6 miles 3 or 4 times a week on it. Because people look at your size, and people don't know me, man. I'm a different breed. I do a lot of extremes for my body. Like with Dick Gregory. Dick Gregory, I was telling his son, Christian, and other people, his supporters, said, y'all show me a 300-pound picture of Dick Gregory. I can't find these pictures of him being 300 pounds. I know people that knew him well, like Reverend C.T. Vivian. He said when he first met Dick Gregory, he was 300 pounds, smoking 4 packs of cigarettes, drinking a fifth of scotch a day. So he was big, but it's the way you carry it. You know what I'm saying? Like way I carry my stuff, people be surprised watch how much I weigh. Oh, you don't weigh that. Yeah, it's the way you carry it. I carry my stuff, and but I was running 6 miles a day with the mask on, man. But 3 or 4 times a week, not a day, but 3 or 4 times a week with at the bottom of my foot still messed up. I mean, when I would run, I was just slamming to the treadmill with my feet. And so, like, when I get through taking out my shoe, like it was a hamburger meat down there, pulverized hamburger meat, you know. So eventually I wore it out where it had a hole. It was a hole at the bottom of my left foot. And it didn't hurt me. Shit, I just had an abscess in my damn mouth. That hurt more than damn having a hole in the bottom of my foot. Something about teeth pain and gum pain is just intolerable to a certain degree. But I could deal with having a hole in my foot by a couple months. So I went to the doctor, urgent care. They all give me, my man, this look bad. I'm like, no, they're like, it's gonna gangrene, gonna cut my foot off. They love cutting on black people like steak in the medical establishment, I guess. I don't know. They love cutting on black. Sometimes they do unnecessary cutting. That's another story. I'm not gonna talk about this on this platform because they weird about medical misinformation and stuff. I'm not even trying to talk about that. But I went to urgent care. Then I got a wound care specialist, and the wound care specialist, his high school band teacher was my Jegna, the late great Emerson A.L.L. Jr., who was also the high school band director for Isaac Hayes. He kicked Isaac Hayes out the high school band, ended up working with Isaac Hayes at Stax, part of the Isaac Hayes movement. He helped arrange and compose Shaft with Isaac Hayes. And my understanding, Isaac Hayes thanked him during his Oscars acceptance speech for Shaft. I got to find out their footage, but the ancestors told me, Brother Ron, if you tell our stories, we'll take care of you. I don't care what situation you find yourself in, you'll be taken care of. And I had no idea that the wound care specialist that I selected, I just random. To me, it was random, was a guy who was trained by my Jegna. So and my Jegna been dead for 6 years now. So even beyond the grave, people like Emerson A.L.L. Jr., Baba Dick Gregory, they looking out for me because I want to tell our stories. And I'm glad that Baba Dick Gregory story is being told, getting wider exposure. There's so much that they didn't talk about in the documentary, but it's a great documentary. But before I move on, and let's talk about the documentary, just want to share something. Like, I actually found out I was the first person to write an Amazon review after viewing the movie. I wrote me an Amazon review. And gave it high praises. Gave it high praises. So this is what I said. I said, the documentary did a great job of highlighting the amazing lives and many accomplishments of the man known as Richard Claxton Gregory, aka Dick Gregory. Baba Gregory's life was most definitely a feature-length movie and must-see TV. This doc provides a great introduction for the younger generations of potential artists, as well as for those more seasoned who thought that they knew what Gregory's legacy was all about. I highly recommend it. 5 out of 5 stars. I was the first person to write on this, on the one and only Dick Gregory. Like I said, thank y'all for donating me back my subscription costs. Cause I didn't want to bootleg. I want to support, even though I saw it at the Tribeca Festival on Juneteenth. And actually, it was amazing watching it in my home at my leisure versus watching it in the park outside. Because you're able to stop and rewind and all this other stuff. You could go at your pace. And man, it was well made, man. It's a well-made documentary. See, I'm a Dick Gregory foul, whatever you call a person. Dickophile or Dick foul. I don't know, Dick Gregory foul, whatever. And I'm a fan of Dick Gregory. I read his book, autobiography, before I interviewed him, just to get my stuff right to the best of my abilities. But the more I learn about the brother, the more I love him. And it's amazing because even at the screening, to meet people that never heard of him days earlier, for them to become instant fans and they wanted to know more about Baba Dick Gregory, it's amazing because the man he didn't have a blueprint, but he left us a blueprint on how to live a purpose-driven life. He left that blueprint, and I'm very thankful. And many of us are very thankful, and the generations to come should be very thankful for the gift. Oh yeah, Sister Butter Love. Give me that butter love. All right, I'm glad you like it. I know you're a fan, definitely. And the California Sunshine, bring it on my way. Shorty swinging my way. It's good to see you, Sister Tiara. Thank you for checking in. I wish they all could be California girls. Thank you, Sister Sunshine. Y'all checking in. Cali women show me love, man. I'm in the wrong state. I should move out to California or at least visit more often. I don't know. I just don't get the type of love. I remember I saw Mama Lily and Gregory. And shout out to Mama Lil, man, because y'all don't understand, man, what she had to sacrifice. Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all something. Man, look, it's funny. I hear black women, young black women, talking about, I want a man like Malcolm X or Dr. King or Mega F. You don't want no man. Them guys be gone most of the time and end up getting killed. They won't grow old with you a lot of times. Them guys get sacrificed. Y'all want to, Dick Gregory was gone, like according to some people, 90% of the time he was at home, but he provided for his family. He was a father to the world. Like he said, don't tell me about family values. Hitler had a father. Jack the Ripper had a father. Don't tell me about Dick Gregory was, look, Dick Gregory was no bum. He was no deadbeat dad. He left his family an amazing legacy, amazing name. You know, to say that your father's Dick Gregory, that your grandfather's Dick Gregory, that your uncle's Dick Gregory, that should be a badge of honor to what he sacrificed. And I think that the documentary did a phenomenal job of showing the sacrifices he had to make, like the financial sacrifices that were made. The financial sacrifices. He lost his 1,000-acre farm. I think it was a 1,000-acre Tower Hill farm up in Massachusetts. He lost that for the movement. You know, he forfeited on gigs, got sued for missing gigs while he was in prison. Dick went through a lot, so I can't blame Nick Cannon and Killer Mike for not wanting to go down that route. You know, Dick had a lot of respect for Nick Cannon and Killer Mike and them guys, but Dick Gregory is a different animal. Like even Harry Belafonte said, a lot of entertainers ain't gonna sacrifice what Dick Gregory sacrificed. So I don't blame LeBron James or any of them guys for not wanting to go down that route. Same thing with Muhammad Ali, who was close to Dick Gregory. Muhammad Ali lost 3 to 4 years of his prime. 3 to 4 years of his boxing prime. He lost a lot of money and lost, no matter, you know, tell him what Muhammad Ali could have did in them 3 to 4 years that he missed out for taking a stand. And really, he had to take that stand because he was not going to be in harm's way. He was not going to be on the front lines, but he was making a point. So that was a different era, man. Them guys were men. And I'm blessed that I was able to know Dick for 6 years. I got hours and hours of tape of Dick Gregory. I got even some stuff I haven't never released before. Maybe I need to do my own film project or do some projects relating to Dick Gregory. It's amazing that I'm a part of his legacy. That the work that I was able to do to help him amplify his message is a part of his legacy. And but I'm not just the dude that Dick Gregory cussed at. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more to my life. That's just a chapter. Like I said, my life is interesting, man. My bloodline, like my grandmother who just had her birthday, she's deceased now. But when I had that near-death experience, I started looking into my bloodline on her side. You know, my understanding now, I didn't know. I mean, I wish I knew this while I was growing up, that my blood cousins, Curtis Mayfield and Marvin Gaye and Sister Rosetta Tharpe and Big Miller, there's a lot of other entertainers and stuff that I'm related to. But that will make a difference because Dick Gregory was real close to Marvin Gaye. Dick Gregory did Marvin Gaye's eulogy. And I don't think Dick, me and Dick was able to connect like that. But it's funny how, and we really all are kissing cousins, but to know that information growing up, I've been listening to a lot of Curtis Mayfield for the last week and a half. I've been on Curtis Mayfield real heavy. And it resonates with me, Curtis. I love his orchestration. He was just brilliant with the lyrics, the orchestration, and his amazing voice. And my cousins, what they teach me by their legacies is that you got to sound like you. You can't sound like nobody else to make an authentic contribution to the world. So now at the age of 41, I'm trying to figure out how can I really go in deep into this music thing. I really want to explore this. And I'm because Dick, life just began for Dick at 41. You know, all the stuff that Dick did was like a prelude to what the best was yet to come. So it makes you think that Dick Gregory friends like Medgar Evers died at 37, Malcolm and Martin died at 39, or they all were killed. Let's put it that way, they were murdered. at those ages. Imagine if they was able to live as long as Dick Gregory, what they would have been doing, how they would have contributed to the world. And that was amazing about Dick Gregory. Cause he might have had survivor's remorse. That's why he was always restless. Cause he looked at all his friends he lost. He said, I gotta make up for the deficit some type of way, perhaps. But yeah, I'm excited about, but getting older is interesting, man. It's like, wow. Did I betray my body or did my body betray me? I don't know. But you work with what you got. Yeah, Dick Gregory was brilliant, man. He was like a jazz musician when it came to the comedy, man. And because like the timing is everything. I remember I talked to Charles Lloyd, who was a friend of Dick Gregory's. Charles Lloyd had a birthday party at the Kennedy Center. I think back in 2012. Dick Gregory was like the MC or something like that. And he told me Dick Gregory got a big slice of birthday cake. And I asked Dick about it. He said, yeah, man, it's a birthday party. So what? Because y'all be thinking about Dick. He Eritrean, like Mooney twins, Paul Mooney's son. I think they said, or Paul Mooney said, he said, Dick is an Eritrean. He's an Eritrean. He just eat air. He just live off of air. But Dick ate the birthday cake. He ate a big slice of birthday cake for Charles Lloyd's birthday. But talking to the great Charles Lloyd, the great jazz saxophonist, master musician, and he'll tell me about how he was able to help with his timing in music by playing behind people like the late great Johnny Ace, who is the grandfather of Legacy, one of my favorite crooners of all time, and Howlin' Wolf, how they help him deal with timing in music. Like how Johnny Ace would sing slow, Johnny Ace would sing behind the beat, drag out the phrase and all that stuff. So there's an art and science to what they do, and Dick Gregory was a master at it. He was great at it. So yeah, I would love to see those interviews he did if you got them available. Sure enough, sister. Butter love. That's right. Yeah, man. Like, well, Dick Gregory told me the universal God, when universal God uses you, sometimes it doesn't leave any evidence. And that's the price you pay for being a pioneer and innovator, because he would, it's Judge in the house, Judge Joe Brown birthday. He was born July 5th, 1947 in Washington, D.C., but he was raised in South L.A. But Judge, I remember when he went out the air back in 2014, he was running for DA down here in Memphis and Shelby County. I met Judge actually not that far away while I'm doing this right now. This is my art loft, my artist loft downtown near the place right across the street where they killed Dr. King at. And right up the street, I met Judge Joe Brown for the first time when he was running for DA back in 2014. Then I connected when I started interviewing him in June 2014, and the rest is history. I got Judge Joe Brown talking about the Cosby case as early as 2014. And when I do my Cosby show, I'm going to play some of those clips that Judge talking about, from 2014 or 2015 about the Cosby case. So now Judge is viral. Everything he does, he's on everybody's platform now. But just remember, Brother Ron brought you Judge. When they took him off the TV, I put him on my platform, and the rest is history. So like I said, I share Judge. People kind of like, what's that? Jason Black, the Black Authority. He had reached out to me. Like, it was funny because a supporter of mine wanted Jason Black to interview me for his race documentary. And he connected me with Jason Black. And then Jason Black reached out to me and said, I want Judge Joe Brown contact information. And I gave it to him. And the dude was disappointed. I said, I don't care. But Judge got in touch with Jason Black because of me connecting them. And I connected Judge with a lot of people, man. Like, it's amazing to be a blessing for a lot of people, like with Dick Gregory, Judge Joe Brown, and even Dr. Rennie Short. But it's like I got the Midas touch when it comes to helping people get, access to social media. And then they go everywhere. I'm just saying I gotta talk about my narrative, man. I just can't leave it to nobody else to speak on me. And like I said, I'm like Soldier Boy. I got the receipts. It's not that I'm over exaggerating. It's like with Little Richard. I'm not over exaggerating. You start looking at the history of Little Richard. Oh, everybody did come through Little Richard. So I'm like one of those connectors, man. And I appreciate that. It's an honor. Because Dick Gregory taught me to feed it. Like, he always tell me, you don't even know who you are, man. Like, I know who you are, but you don't know who you are. I thought you knew who you were. I'm learning now I am that Rolls Royce riding through the hood, and everybody can't get in this ride. I'm not interested in being I've never been popular. This is tolerance. This has nothing to do with popular. I've never been popular. I've been bullied. I'm 41. I'm still doing my thing. It's amazing. I always been bullied, never been popular, man. So this is just toleration. But yeah, everybody, they eating off of me. That's why Dick called me the feeder, man. No, and Kwame said he feeding people. I've been feeding folks for years. And shout out to Kwame Brown. You need to do my show, man. Or let me on your show. Or you do my show. I appreciate I receive all that. Nothing like a praying black woman. Black woman can make or break you, boy. You are a good sister. I want to meet you one day. I gotta just get a plane trip. We could meet in Vegas. Hell, I don't care. I'll go out to the West Coast again. That is a great question. They should have, like, Malcolm X is still taboo. Malcolm X is still taboo. But like Dick Gregory told me one time, he said it's gonna take people 100 years to overstand and finally catch up with what Malcolm X has been saying. It's gonna take us 100 more years to get to that point where Malcolm X was at 60, 50 something years ago. And Dick was close to Malcolm. He was, matter of fact, Dick had an interesting and unique relationship with the Nation of Islam. That's why you can't trust his media. I know when I interviewed Dick, he was hypercritical of Louis Farrakhan's so-called boycott, the Millions More movement. But he was there when he announced it in DC. He was standing by the brother. They hugged and embraced. But Dick had a very good, strong relationship with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad back in the day. Now, Alice Haley in Malcolm's autobiography, I think he was trying to act like the Dick Gregory told Malcolm about Elijah's, relationships. And Dick Gregory didn't tell. I mean, like now we know that Alice Haley did not write Roots, nor did he really write Malcolm X. It was written by his editor, allegedly a Playboy named Murray Fisher. Murray Fisher allegedly wrote the autobiography of Malcolm X as well as Roots. And then he stole a lot of that Kunta Kinte narrative from another white man named Dr. Harold Corlander, who had a book called The African that came out in the 60s. Not saying that white folks don't steal from us, but Alice Haley, y'all still worship Alice Haley. My mom actually was the volunteer organizer for Alice Haley's funeral. She actually helped arrange and got the volunteers for his funeral. I remember going to his wake vaguely and seeing them laid out in the coffin after they had their glass on top of him. This was back in 91, 92. What is it, 91, 92 when Alice Haley died? But anyway, yeah, he was sued in court. He had to pay out. See, how people don't want to know. Like, even Thurgood Marshall had his birthday July 2nd. I know Judge is a big Thurgood Marshall fan. Thurgood Marshall was an FBI informant. And they don't take away from his legacy, but he wanted to get a certain position. He wanted power. He made a deal with the power brokers. That's why he became a Supreme Court justice, because he made those deals, right? But that's the game, the games. And Baba Dick talked about that. But with Malcolm, people still scared of Malcolm, man. He been dead for what, 56 years? And they still afraid. It's like with Fred Hampton. They still shooting up Fred Hampton's tombstone down in Louisiana. He been dead since 69. Why are they so threatened by dead black men? But yeah, that was a thing. They didn't talk about the Malcolm relationship. I wish they would have talked about Malcolm. But like Andre Gaines said, he said they had like 4 to 5 different versions of this story. This was the final product, but they had like 4 other Dick Gregory documentaries that they made. Because this documentary supposed to came out the same year that Dick Gregory died, I think in 2017. So when he died, it just changed everything as well. So they also started getting all this new information in from different sources. Like Robert Lipsyte sent him actual recordings he did of Dick Gregory while they was writing his book back in 63. So they put that in there. So that in the original documentary, that was not in there because that information was not available at that time. So they did like 4 different versions, but they got the biopic that they're gonna do. And I like to know what y'all think, who y'all think should play Dick Gregory. I really think they're gonna have to get an unknown to play Dick Gregory. I don't see anybody pulling it off. I know some great character actors out there like Jeffrey Wright. Jeffrey Wright played a light-skinned Dr. King. Terrence Howard was a light-skinned Ralph Abernathy. The Boycott actually was a good movie. Jeffrey Wright is an amazing character actor. I'll think about Jamie Foxx. I mean, Will Smith. I don't know. I do have to get an unknown or something to play Dick Gregory in the biopic. We'll see. They got technology too where they could change your face CGI and all that crap. I don't know. Like the Irishman, I don't know. But yeah, Malcolm was nowhere to be found. And I thought that was interesting too. I noticed that when I first viewed the documentary. Why they didn't put Malcolm in? Why are they so afraid of Malcolm? But Dick told me it's gonna take 100 years for people to really get comfortable with Malcolm. Because that's how powerful Malcolm was. No, a lot of times they don't. A lot of times they don't. I mean, people's stuff is not. That's why I'm just talking. I'm not bitter about it, nothing like that. But people will like. I provided Gregory's contact information. I remember back in the summer of 2016 when he went real viral. When we redid our thing at Sankofa bookstore, and he was talking about Dr. Sebi and all this stuff went really viral. And his wife, Lil, the great Lil Gregory, called me in Kansas City and said, Ron, I don't know what you're doing. Stop putting out our contact information. I'm getting all these phone calls and faxes. I can't handle it. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. I said, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't think that's me. But it was me. Because all this stuff started going really viral. And Dick always said, man, put my contact information out there. And the thing about Dick Gregory is he never was unlisted. He was always listed in the phone book. Even his cell phone number was available in the phone book on the white pages online. But like people tell me, Ron, you just think everybody's like you. I said, man, people tell me when I'm trying to honor dead people, they said they don't got no known living relatives. And I'm able to find the living relatives. You said you was able to find them? I said, yeah, I just looked online. I looked at the white pages. We couldn't even find them. I got organizations. I know organizations with all type of resources. They couldn't find people that I found. I was able to find people they couldn't find. So what is all that about? But yeah, a lot of times, most time they don't give me credit. They don't even get no donation. They just take your stuff and don't give you no donation. Like Dick Gregory told y'all. He told y'all, look, Ron, you drive around the country. No, I didn't get no money from Dick Gregory directly. I used to drive around the country, my own gas, pay for hotels. The IRS trying to mess with me now. But I did that for the love of our people to share the information. At least you could do is donate. You're going to rip me off or something. Because a lot of cats think stuff is free. I'm going to tell you something. As I get older, there's no such thing as a free lunch or free anything. You always paying some type of tax. It's like dudes say, I ain't going to pay for the P. You always paying for the P. I don't care if it rather be a hooker, your girlfriend, your wife, you always going to pay for it. There's no way you don't pay for it. And I ain't just talking about money. You pay for things in different ways. There's more than one currency when it comes to paying. But now a lot of times they don't, man, give me my propers, man. It's like even Judge Joe Brown, like cats will try to, like I mean when Dick went viral for the Django thing, folks would contact me and like they want to interview me. They just want to interview Dick Gregory. And I said, that's okay, I understand that because he's Dick Gregory. But a lot of times I get no respect on that, but I'm gonna put respect on my name. Thank you. Yeah, I actually started. I got hours and hours of Judge Joe Brown. That's why people say, well, no, you should let him talk. Negro, I've been hearing him say this stuff for years. I can't help that you new to the game. You know what I'm saying? Like people tell me, like, no, I got to write. This is my platform. I got things to say. I don't have to interview Judge no more. Judge everywhere. I don't have to do that, but I've been doing it for a long time. But people think that you're supposed to talk at all. People think I'm supposed to have an opinion. Folks tell me, well, some dude talking about my Dick Gregory video. You should raise your right. Now I'm left-handed, man. I don't play those games y'all like to play. I don't care about what fist raise. Y'all talk about you got to raise it with your right, bro. I'm left-handed. I play my trumpet with my left hand. I don't play with you're supposed to play your trumpet with the right hand. Dizzy Gillespie was not supposed to have his cheeks blown out when he playing the trumpet. Miles Davis ain't supposed to have his chin in his chest when you're playing the trumpet. You got to learn who the hell you are and play yourself. So what I do, I'm not doing it for consent. I'm not doing it. Is that the right way to do it? Because if it was the right way, how come we still suffering? How come black folks still catching hell? If we got this so-called code and the right way to do this and that, we still catching hell. Y'all more concerned about looking good than actually feeling good. You're more concerned about looking good than actually feeling good. Okay. So anyway, I'm just it's not against. Yeah, I've been doing it, man. I've been paying dues for years, man. It's a marathon. Everybody ain't gonna get fame, but it is my season, though. My time is coming. My time is coming. Well, I received that. I think I'm creatively maladjusted. We all brilliant. But a lot of times we allow circumstances and people to tell us to dim our lights. I want to encourage everybody who's listening to the sound of my voice, be yourself 100, 1,000%. Because the only way you can make a real contribution to this world is by being you and sharing your passions and being passionate about what you care about. Never apologize for being you. Yeah, let me and I'm getting all, I'll tell you, this is already an hour past. I don't know if I talked about everything I want to talk about. Let's yeah, they talked about Dick Gregory saving the lives of John Lennon and Yoko Ono. I want to play Dick Gregory in his own words when he told me back in April 2013 about connecting with John Lennon and Yoko Ono. And I think it's very important. I had to reload it because the original video I had out there, the volume was too low. Sometimes I have audio issues. Now I look, damn, okay, I could improve that. But guess what? One day I'll have an archive set up and we're gonna get some people in there to really just create a great audio experience for you all. But until that day comes, you got to deal with what I could deal with working on WavePad and doing it myself. But I think I improved over the years for the most part. But let's play what Dick Gregory had to say about his experience with John Lennon and Yoko Ono. And remember that John Lennon was inspired to write Imagine by a prayer book that Dick Gregory gave him. And John Lennon gave him credit. So they owe him royalties as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, let's listen to Dick Gregory talking about his experience with Yoko Ono and John Lennon, and now he was able to detox them and keep them out for drugs. Let's see if I can find that. And thank y'all for being very patient. Like I said, I be like dragging my foot doing shows, and then once I do a show, I can't shut up. I can find it. I got so many stuff open. I think it's, but yeah, I want to encourage you all to watch that documentary. I don't think I ain't got it open, but I'm gonna find it. Watch the documentary. Or maybe it is open. Okay, I gotta open it. But yeah, watch the documentary and leave your comments at the end of this video. Or you can connect with me. I'm not that hard to find. But watch the documentary. Amazing. And it's We All Be News Free Dixie for the 21st century. Thank y'all for being patient. But we're gonna play this and we'll come back. We'll be right back.
This is Brother Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
Music is so important when it hits the brain. I was real close to John Lennon. Mm-hmm. And one day the way I met him is my wife said, John Lennon's people called to him and Yoko is drugged out in a cave in Amsterdam. Mm. And people said, if you get Dick Gregory, he can fix it. So I flew over. And I didn't know caves could look like Buckingham Palace. Huh?
Right.
I mean, them caves is fabulous. Okay? So I go and now I did not know till after he was dead, and a professor at San Diego got the rights to get some tapes from him and do a book. And he got that from Yoga, his wife. And then it said after Dick Gregory came to Amsterdam and straightened me and my wife out, we never went back to drugs again. I didn't know that. You know. And so we got that close. I talked a little about it fast. And so I'm at his house one day, and he was showing me his financial records. He said from the time the Beatles was the Beatles, before they broke up, they made $87,000. Million. He said million.
Okay.
Dollars. And he got the biggest share because he was writing. So that plus the writing. And he said, but that just represented 87 million represented 3% of them that the agent ripped off the rest. The one that died in the swimming pool. So if you want to know what the agent made, you take $87 million and multiply it by 97.
Oh, geez.
Now I say that to say this. So we talk about, man, that explain something to me. Why is it that when they do the master, why that costs $500 million? They say because on the flip side of what you hearing the real thing. You be listening to me, da. But in the flip side of it, what you really hearing is the devil is God. The devil is God. How can you win when you don't know this, right? And so and so consequently, we talking and he's telling me, and then he told me something because I don't buy records. I don't music. I listen to his opera and I don't even understand it, but I know the rich folks that control the world. That's all they do is listen to opera. I go all over the world, Budapest, in the summer, catching opera. I'll be right on the front row, the best ticket you can buy, and everybody scream, Bravo! I don't know what. Bravo, and throw flowers up. I do all of that, man. But that's and so anyway, when you think about that industry, and here's what he told me: that those records, how involved the government was, CIA, British intelligence, because all those records was about drugs. I didn't know that. He told me, so you know how high you got to be to see a yellow submarine? You know the song "Hey Jude"? Do you know any of the words of them?
No, sir.
No, I say, do you know any of the words to it?
No, I know the Lucy in the Sky and Diamonds. Lucy in the Sky.
Wait, no, don't get to that yet. Hey Jude said it was about heroin.
Okay.
Take a sad song and make it what? Either Lucy in the, that's about LSD, right?
Right.
Okay, so that's what that was about. And we just put it out there. And them old sanctified folks, see? Oh, no, listen, they didn't know. They just could feel it. No, you listen to that stuff. Lipstick and all that stuff. Women wearing pants. Well, they didn't know this, but a woman's vagina breathes just like a human because life comes through there. And when you shut that down, you get all kind of infections. That's why when they come out with the pantyhose, your vagina cannot breathe through nylon. And a couple of lawsuits went up. And the judge busted them, made them pay big money. And now you buy pantyhose, they got that thin strip of cotton right there so the vagina can breathe. So there's so much stuff out here. You men that wash your socks, and you look at it, and if you have black socks, the water turns black. If you have brown socks turn brown, and you never ask, what kind of dye is this that never dries, huh? That I put on my feet, and my feet breathes that stuff up through the pores. They got it over such a small minute at a time, you don't add all of that to what's going on. And so when you stop and think about it, and the universal law is for every pound you weigh. If you weigh 100 pounds, you're supposed to drink half that in ounces in water. You weigh 500 pounds, you're supposed to drink 250 ounces of water every day. and then you tune into the universe. So they take us away from that and put us into the other stuff. And then they got to the point now where they can put it on the label. When y'all get home today, or those of y'all at home after the show, if you got your toothpaste there, I never understood how come my toothbrush have to stay in the bathroom. If you had a child that every time you gave them 3 meals a day, they take it to the toilet and eat it, you think something's wrong with it. But the toothbrush staying there all day, the sandwich ain't gonna last that long. I keep my toothbrush, I keep it in the freezer. And so when you stop and think about just simple things, and then as you think about that, then other stuff will open up.
And that was Bobby Dickens' own words talking about his relationship with John Lennon. And John Lennon was targeted by the government. He was a key advocate for the anti-war movement back in the day. And they say that Mark David Chapman was his assassin. But like the lead detective on the case said, it was strange because it was the perfect crime. A lot of y'all don't understand that most murders go unsolved. I mean, you look at 48 Hours, you look at Law and Order, by the end of the hour, oh, the case is solved, but most murder cases go unsolved. But the lead detective for the situation with John Lennon stated that Mark David Chapman, like he was waiting for them, like he was under a spell or a trance. And that the doorman at the Dakota where John Lennon was staying, where he was murdered, he was actually a well-known Cuban national who was a CIA assassin, allegedly. And the thing about it is, he talked about, you know, how the Beatles was very much cheated. Remember, Michael Jackson owned the Beatles catalog, and then Sonny ATV catalog. Michael Jackson owned the rights to the Beatles stuff. It's a wicked game they play. But you hear what Dick said, that the subliminal messaging in the music try to hook young people on drugs. So y'all gotta remember that the Beatles made their debut in America back in '64. The year before was the assassination of JFK. You know, Dick Gregory was very much involved in exposing the assassination of JFK, MLK, with the top-notch researcher and lawyer Mark Lane. You know, Mark Lane actually died the year before Dick Gregory in Charlottesville, Virginia. But they worked on, you know, Operation Codename Zorro. The FBI used to call Dr. King Zorro. That was his nickname. But they exposed all this stuff. Dick Gregory was on TV with Geraldo Rivera on his show Good Night America when the Zapruder film showing the JFK assassination was first made available to the public. So y'all don't understand who Dick Gregory was. Dick Gregory was amazing. Like I said, Hollywood could not make up a movie. And if I told you all the things that Dick Gregory inspired in the way he did, you wouldn't believe that one person was able to do that. So Dick was everywhere with the stuff. But John Lennon told him, hey, we was utilized to get young people hooked on drugs. And John Lennon went against the grain. He talked about how they mix, those. You remember how Universal lost all those master recordings in that fire? Was it back in 2008 or 2009? They finally admit to it years later that a lot of master recordings were lost in the Universal fire out there in Cali. But he talked about how they would mix it. How it was a thing where people, they could play records backwards. They could hear like Paul is dead, like Paul McCartney, allegedly that the Paul McCartney today is a clone, allegedly, and that he was replaced. So people always talking about, you could listen to the record backwards and Paul is dead. But what Dick Gregory just got through saying, the devil is God, the devil is God. You know, the devil, Lucifer, was a master musician before he fell out of heaven. So you think about even the Crossroads with Robert Johnson making a deal with the devil at the Crossroads. And then even that James Brown commercial that he did, they dealt with like the Crossroads and all this stuff, making deals. And Dick was a friend of James Brown. And there's some stories with that. But yeah, John Lennon was Merc. But also I would tell people, look at the Tavistock Institute out in England. The Tavistock Institute allegedly created the Beatles for mind control. That's where MK Ultra come out of. That's the birthplace of MK Ultra, the Tavistock, Tavistock Institute. And there's a Jewish lady back in the day. She's still on YouTube. She's passed away, but she used to do a radio show out in California. The great Mae Brussel, one of the greatest researchers. I mean, she's like Dick Gregory. It's like a female Dick Gregory. She read all these newspapers and articles. She broadcasts on her show and talk about all these conspiracies. She didn't have no internet back then, but she was able to connect the dots, and she exposed so much stuff in her time. Like Judge Joe Brown talk about that undercover police officer, Tackwood. He was on her show back in the day, right before his book came out. But look up Mae Brussel, and you thank me later if you want to thank me at all. But also another thing that it touched on, thank y'all for donations, Brother Michael. We love you madly. Everybody's been donating. We love you madly. Thank you for the moderators and for the patience. But they also touch upon Dick Gregory's, I guess, war with the FBI. If you call it a war with the FBI, how he was on the surveillance. They touched on that a little bit, but they didn't really get deep. They talk about the fact that J. Edgar Hoover wanted to neutralize Dick Gregory. And folks keep on saying this is a conspiracy theory. Like, the movie just came out, Judas and the Black Messiah, about the Fred Hampton situation with William O'Neill. They was targeting Dick Gregory before they were trying to neutralize Fred Hampton. Now, the government been spying on Fred Hampton since he was 14 years old. They was wiretapping his mom's phone, his parents' phone, right? So they knew who he was since he was 14, but they decided to neutralize him about around the age of 20. But Dick Gregory, they went after Dick Gregory before, because Dick Gregory actually ran not only for the president of the United States, but also for the mayor of Chicago. So he was very much a threat to the establishment. He was not just a funny man, he was a very serious man. So I want to play this clip of Dick Gregory. This is how I do my movie reviews. A lot of times the movie review be longer than the actual movie. I apologize. Thank you so much, Tristan Belleville. We love you madly. Yeah, the media blew up the Beatles because what happened the year before, a lot of our American citizenry did not believe the Warren Commission report that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, let alone if he actually did it, because he actually did not have any gun residue on his hands, or no powder, whatever you call it. You're supposed to leave residue, and I ain't gonna get too deep in the rabbit hole with this. It's like there were more than one Lee Harvey Oswald. I'll just leave it at that. But a lot of the people did not believe that Kennedy was killed by a lone gunman. And Mark Lane, Dick Gregory's peer and partner, research collaborator, he wrote the first important book or first important document questioning the official narrative of the Kennedy assassination, called Rush to Judgment. And also Dick talked about a book that came out, I think, Farewell America, that's available. I think it's available on Amazon. It might be one of them books that might be really costly because it's rare, but I think it's available for a decent price. Farewell America, that I think the French intelligence put together a narrative that talks about what really happened in Dallas, November 22nd, 1963. But Mark Lane wrote the first book of note that really challenged that, called Rush to Judgment. And like I said, him and Dick Gregory worked on exposing the MLK murder conspiracy as well. But they used the Beatles to get the Americans preoccupied with other stuff, with partying and bullshit. That song. The Beatles was used as a distraction to get the young people on drugs. Allegedly. Now, this John Lennon basically told this to Dick Gregory. And like I said, the Beatles probably was a product of MK Ultra, the Tavistock Institute. But let me play Dick Gregory talking about J. Edgar Hoover trying to kill him. And this is not, people say, well, this is fairy tale. This is an urban legend. I'm telling y'all, this stuff is out in newspaper archives, the Chicago Tribune. Just like with Bill Cosby, I keep on saying, well, Bill Cosby, that's an urban legend about him trying to buy a network. No, there's an article, October 29th, 1992 from New York Times. You can Google this up, take a look, it's all online, that they acknowledged that Bill Cosby had a group. Like, y'all keep on thinking, well, Bill Cosby didn't have enough money. He had a group of business people work on him. I met Ed Weinberger, who used to be Dick Gregory's joke writer and stuff. He used to write jokes for Bill Cosby and Dick Gregory. And also he helped with the Cosby Show. He was a partner in trying to acquire NBC with Bill Cosby. I met Ed Weinberger at Dick Gregory's homecoming. I got a picture with him. I like to interview Ed Weinberger. He gave me his phone number. I lost it, but I could find it again. And Bill Cosby even had articles from 2011 that he tried to buy NBC still. And in 2014, he's still trying to buy a network. And that's why they got him away. It's not about women, man. Women are collateral damage. No disrespect to the women, but women have always been collateral damage in the system. And women are used as excuses to do things. And that's another story, but I ain't gonna get, oh my God, what he's talking about. I'll talk about that in the Cosby Show. But let's talk about when J. Edgar Hoover tried to get a mafia hit on Dick Gregory. Dick Gregory's own words, we all be news-free Dixie for the 21st century. Oh boy, boy, boy.
And so I'm the one with me and Mark Lane released the investigation and book that caused the Kennedy King assassination investigation.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason we added King and Kennedy because this racist Congress wasn't going to appropriate the millions it needed to investigate. So all at once, J. Edgar Hoover sent a telex out to the Chicago Bureau to kill Dick Gregory.
Mm.
And that was in '68. Some kind of way I had the memo before the FBI had it.
Mm.
It's somewhere in 1978, the Chicago Tribune found out about it. And those of y'all got computers. It's Chicago Tribune, Friday, March the 10th, 1978. Headline, front page. FBI memo, use mob to kill Dick Gregory. Those are the same folks. Now I tell you about some tapes on King.
Mm.
The late J. Edgar Hoover ordered the Chicago office of the FBI to develop measures to neutralize black comedian Dick Gregory and suggest to use measures could use including alerting La Costa Nostra. At that time, the FBI had never admitted La Costa Nostra existed. La Costa Nostra, to verbal attack Gregory had made on the crime syndicate. The agent is the filthiest. Crime syndicate is the filthiest thing on the planet. And on, right? So that's what we're talking about in this America.
So that was Dick Gregory's own words, and I'm showing you the newspaper articles to go along with what he's saying is true. People, man, he's making stuff up. It's all in his head. No. Harry Belafonte, he was featured in shout out to Harry Belafonte. I hope he, doing well. He was in a Dick Gregory documentary. And I remember listening to a Harry Belafonte documentary, I'm not mistaken, where he talked about how he was telling his first wife, who was a black woman, that he was been targeted by the government. And she didn't believe him. He had to divorce her because, hey, we're not on the same page. You supposed to be my wife. You supposed to have my back, but you don't believe me that the government is targeting me? Harry Belafonte was hanging out with some heavy hitters like Paul Robeson and people like that. We all know that the government targeted Paul Robeson. It's like what Dizzy Gillespie said. He said in his book, to paraphrase Dizzy Gillespie's autobiography, he said, well, they did Malcolm and Martin, they gave them mercy. They killed them and not tortured. They tortured Paul Robeson for decades. But now we know that Harry Belafonte's manager, J. Richard Kennedy, was U.S. intelligence. J. Richard Kennedy, who was the boyfriend of the Black Panther Elaine Brown, the one judge and how Judge recruited Elaine to UCLA. I be telling Judge there's something suspect about Elaine. I know her last name Brown, but she even said in her autobiography, A Taste of Power, that J. Richard Kennedy, who was at one point Harry Belafonte's manager, I think his name is J. Kennedy. I don't know if it's Richard. Y'all can correct me. I'm just a human being. I get new information and I got to revise, and rewrite my narrative. So please forgive me. I think it's J. Richard Kennedy. Y'all can verify that in the chats with Google search or whatever. But that was his manager, but he was also the boyfriend and the handler for Elaine Brown Yeah, the Black Panther Elaine Brown. And I got nothing against Elaine Brown. I actually met Elaine Brown at the Urban League in St. Louis. She did a talk, and I had my artwork hanging in the gallery at the time. And my one-man show that got reviewed by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch when I was known as Mr. Unteachable. This is when I was in college, my senior year. And they asked me if I could leave some of my stuff. Shout out to Sister Cookie Jordan. Hope she's doing fine. Cookie Jordan was the curator of the gallery at the Urban League. And she asked me, we got Elaine Brown speaking this Sunday or whatever. Can you just leave your stuff up? I left some of my stuff up, and she was impressed with my artwork. I took a picture with her, and she autographed something for me. And I had nothing against Elaine Brown, because you're talking about this book she had on this this black juvenile youth offender named, I guess it went by Little B. That was one of her books. But in her autobiography, A Taste of Power, she said that this dude, J. Richard Kennedy, was her boyfriend who was U.S. intelligence. So MK Ultra, whatever. Was Elaine an MK Ultra sex kitten, monarch? I don't, y'all weaponized against the movement. I don't know. That's all allegedly, but she talked about it in her book. I'm gonna leave it at that. But also, I wish they would have talked about Dick Gregory's run for president back in '68. Like I said, he was very much a threat. They said that he won Pennsylvania back in '68 with 9 million votes. See, we always had these voting irregularities. Do votes really count? And I want to show him in his own words, talking about how he got 9 million votes in Pennsylvania back in '68, and the powers that be said they made a mistake. And I got newspaper articles. People keep on saying I did. People kind of weird to me. They say, well, he's a kooky kook. He's making this shit up. No, he's not. They had Wall Street journals. Everybody talking about how they gave him 9 million votes in '68. Dick Gregory could have won. I don't know. Dick Gregory ran for president. He wasn't running through a party. Y'all talking about Shirley Chisholm, and y'all talk about Jesse Run. They were running for the nomination of a party. Dick Gregory was actually running for president. He didn't have to, he won the nomination, whatever party. The Freedom Party, I don't know. Y'all look it up. It's not for me to always tell y'all everything. But let me play him in his own words. This is made up. This is not real. None of this is real. This is a matrix. This is all a dream. It was all a dream. It was all a dream. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. I'm getting kind of cuckoo. In his own words, we all be news-free dicks for the 21st century. Take that.
This is Judge Joe Brown, and we're listening to We All Be News. News-free Dixie for the 21st century.
Here's the way that Trump and Bernie Sanders was able to do the crap they said they're able to do. I ran for president of the United States as a write-in in 1968. That night, Hillary, Bernie, Trump, New York Times, Washington Post, and all you thugs, check out one of the main papers, same garbage, in the history of the planet, the Wall Street Journal. So this is not Dick Gregory telling you this. Check out Wall Street Journal. Ran this story 4 days after the election of 1963. And it said to the world on November the 4th, 1968.
Yes, sir.
November the 4th, not 63. November the 4th, 1968. All the polling places that took up data had to be shut down because it showed Dick Gregory had been elected president of the United States. And they did this because in the state of Pennsylvania, the computers gave me 9 million votes out of Pennsylvania. And it showed a trend. Now, let me tell you all, truth ain't never had to be validated by your ignorance. But let me say this. The story ran 3 days later, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The Wall Street Journal, Friday, November the 7th, 1968, the story ran. There was a mistake made. Computers goof showed Dick Gregory with 9 million votes out of the state of Pennsylvania, so they had to shut all the computers down. Because the presumptive president of the United States, it wasn't the primary, showed. That's what they're doing now. And that's what you deserve. To own slaves, to do the stuff you do now, dropping bombs on little children and stuff. And so that's how you can see Bernie Sanders. Nobody talks about Ben and Jerry, with millions is funneled through there for him, nothing but a thug and a punk. That's how that thug can do everything backwards.
And there's Baba speaking from the grave, man. It's amazing to have this stuff still available, for people to access, because Baba was brilliant because he knew that he was using the new technology to amplify. Like the best way to stay alive in Baba's way of doing stuff was to share what you knew. Because what's the point of taking you out when you shared everything already? Like his son Christian talked about how he'll get some information that folks want him to keep secret, allegedly. They knew Dick could keep no secret. He couldn't hold no water. So next thing you know, they're going to Kinko somewhere, making thousands of copies to distribute. Dick Gregory was a one-man social media, one-stop shop. Dick Gregory would just get out. Why kill me when I got the information out there already? What's the point? That's how you live forever, by sharing what you know with the masses. So Dick was a master at that. And they talk about his friend Medgar Evers. It's funny to me, not funny in a ha-ha way, but Meg Thee Stallion is better known than Medgar Evers among Black people. Meg Thee Stallion, she should be called Meg the Mayor, but let's call her Meg Thee Stallion, is better known among Black people than Medgar Evers. There's no knock against Meg Thee Stallion, because I listen to Meg Thee Stallion. I actually like Meg Thee Stallion. But I'm saying this, our people priorities are screwed up. Dick knew that celebrities wasn't, sugar honey iced tea, because he was one of them at one point. And he was a celebrity, but he knew that they weren't about nothing because they were puppets. Like Malcolm said in that interview with UC Berkeley, I believe, they ain't nothing but puppets. It's nothing dangerous like a weaponized celebrity. But Dick knew his place in the movement. Dick actually gave up his place in celebrity back in the day. Dick was one of the highest paid, if not the highest paid entertainer in the country at one point when he met Medgar Wiley Evers. Now, Medgar Wiley Evers was a World War II veteran from Mississippi. He was in the Red Ball Express. They're like the Amazon Prime or UPS drivers of their day for Uncle Sam, for the Third Army of General Patton. They was a cats risking their lives, driving through enemy lines and delivering food and supplies to the rapidly advancing Third Army, who were trying to beat the Russians to Berlin after landing in Normandy. Red Ball Express were mostly African-American men. My maternal grandfather, my grandfather, Arthur Taylor Sr., was a Red Ball Express, like Medgar Evers. like Mega Evers. He was from Mississippi, and I wish I would have asked him. He passed on back in 2005, August 12th, at the age of 82. Did he know Mega Evers? Not saying because they're from Mississippi, but they were part of Red Ball Express. He not a new Mega Evers. He was there for Normandy. But if you look at Saving Private Ryan, the way Hollywood tell it, there was no black people involved in the Normandy invasion, let alone the Red Ball Express. The only person of color that was in Saving Private Ryan was Vin Diesel. I don't know what the hell Vin Diesel is. What is he claiming? What is they saying? What is he claiming? Thank you, Sister Amber Hope, for your donation. We love you madly. But sometimes donating on YouTube, like they take almost half of what we get on here. So I always suggest people, I love the support though, but come and get the Cash App or Venmo or Zelle or Google Pay or PayPal, because YouTube, they like pirates, man. They just taking it. It's like that's the American way. They be taxing and we creating the content, and then they demonetize stuff, remove videos. I had Dick Gregory video removed. I had Judge Joe Brown video removed. I had Dr. Randy Short video removed. And they wasn't saying anything but truth telling. So telling the truth in times of deceit is a revolutionary act. But anyhow, let's talk about Mega Evers. Dick got it. Thank God for Mega Evers. Mega Evers is interesting to me because you got the so-called big three, the three M's. You got Malcolm, Martin, and Mega. But Malcolm and Martin are known for their oratorical skills. And I don't know of any footage really that much that speaks to Mega Evers as being a brilliant orator. But what I do know is that he had an amazing and profound effect on these so-called celebrities like Dick Gregory, like Lena Horne. Lena Horne was infatuated with Mega Evers. I mean, I don't know what Mega's like. He was a saint. I don't know. I don't even want to know. You know, but I'm saying Lena Horne was just infatuated, from my understanding, with Mega. Dick Gregory gave up millions of dollars to follow Mega Evers. He wanted to die with Mega Evers down in Mississippi. I mean, even Marilyn Evers talked about how they were like blood brothers in a way, how they were that close, because Dick was almost there that night when they killed Mega Evers in his driveway, but he had to go back home because his son died. 3-month-old son, Dick Jr. died. I think sudden infant death syndrome, whatever. Tragic, but it probably saved Dick's life. There was like a blood sacrifice. If you want to think about it, it saved Dick's life. It got him out of harm's way. But you know, that fall, Dick delivered a lot of food and supplies to the people of Greenwood, Mississippi on his own. He had to help, or he was helping them get a plane and get the supplies, but he was there giving out not government cheese, but Velveeta. We call it Velveeta cheese. No, that good cheese, creamy cheese. He was giving them good food and supplies. That's Dick Gregory doing it by himself, which inspired the people to create Freedom Summer. This one man by himself inspired a generation of college students to go down south to Mississippi to register black folks, to teach them how to read and write. Freedom Summer. You know, those 3 civil rights workers. Sorna Chain and Goodman was kidnapped and lynched by the Klan and police. It was Dick Gregory that found out what happened to them. He raised the award money. He forced the FBI to match him in offering reward money. I don't know, I said award, reward money, right? Dick found out where it was at. Now in Mississippi Burning, Hollywood said, no, it wasn't Dick Gregory. It was them bringing down some mobster from New York to interrogate the good old boys. Just the good old boys. Don't mean no harm. But Dick Gregory was in Moscow when he heard about the news, what happened to them 3 missing civil rights workers. And from his experiences in Mississippi, he knew they was already dead. Now the white folks tried to, they playing a prank. They did a Juicy Smollett. Yeah, like them 3 civil rights workers doing a Juicy Smollett. Or just a Smollett. Nah, they were dead. But Dick found out what happened to him. But anyway, let me play Dick talking about Mega Evers in his own words. I mean, it's good to have this stuff. Like, you know, I could have did a lot of clickbait stuff with Dick. I did, you know, questionable stuff. I asked things that other folks were too afraid to ask Dick to his face. Like, I asked him stuff to get cursed out because everybody they said this happened. I asked Dick that, you know, man, he cursed me out. And then off the air, he said, man, why you ask me that on the air? Why you didn't tell me you're going to ask me that? He didn't say it wasn't true. See, that's what y'all don't understand. And like some folks, I ain't gonna say their name. A lot of kids, That because Dick Gregory, they knew Dick Gregory and said, well, Dick Gregory never went off on me. That because he didn't respect you. He only went off on people that he respected, and he'll make up with you and break bread with you. But he didn't respect you. He think you was really on that stuff. If you really was about it, he didn't take the time to curse you out. No disrespect to some of the people that thought that was good that they didn't get cursed out by Dick Gregory. Now he respected me. He knew who I was before I knew who I was. Called me the damn feeder. But anyway, let's talk about Medgar Evers and Dick. I'm talking about his friend Medgar Evers, his brother. Now I asked Dick, no, you cool with Charles Evers? Dick didn't really care for Charles Evers. I love Charles Evers, man. Charles Evers was a G. Like he told Dr. King, like, no, I remember Charles Evers. When Charles Evers was walking the earth, when I'll go down to Jackson, Mississippi, I'll always stop by his radio station and see if I could visit with him and just talk it up and give respect to the elder because he was a soldier. A soldier. And I remember I ain't gonna never get tired of this. He told me, well, Ron, when Dr. King used to come to Jackson, he used to run to my house. Because Dr. King said, well, Charles, I feel so secure, so protected because you got all the guns and goons. So Charles Evans always told me he believed in the 3 G's: guns, God, and goons. Guns, God, and goons. That's why Charles Evans lived to be almost 100 years old, and his brother got killed at 37. Now, Medgar did believe in protecting yourself. He was a sergeant. Now, Christian said the Korean War, it wasn't the Korean War, no disrespect to Christian. It was World War II. Like I said, he was a Red Ball Express guy, along with my grandfather, who was also from Mississippi. But my understanding, Medgar kept guns on him. He believed in protecting. Medgar was an admirer of Jomo Kenyatta. He said, we need a Mau Mau in Mississippi. See, y'all don't get hip. Now, I visit Medgar Evers' grave in Arlington. It's long overdue. But if they had buried Medgar down in Jackson would look different today. Because that could have been a rallying point. It's like the white folks know who we are. We don't know who we are. So, if they left Medgar body there, it would have been a shrine to him. And Jackson would be looking different right now. So no white folks knew what they did when they moved him to Arlington, away from his base. And that's why Jackson the way it is now. No disrespect to Jackson. But Medgar admired Jomo Kenyatta. He won the Mau Mau uprising. And what made Medgar credible was the fact that he was a sergeant in the army. He fought for America. He was fearless. Well, he didn't let the fear get in the way. He knew he was a dead man walking, though. He actually wrote to the NACP. He was an NACP field secretary. I think he was the first one. He actually wrote the NACP for protection. They refused to provide bodyguards for Medgar, and they got Medgar killed. And years later, when his wife saved the NACP, they're going to give her an apology. They owe the Evers family so much more respect. I mean, the fact that Charles Evers died, how you going to be your NACP man of the year back in the day, but yet when he dies, you don't do an official press release. The national president of the NACP is Derek Johnson, I think, and he was the president of the Mississippi NACP for a long, long time. I met Derek. Looks like he's a bad guy, but the problem is, bro, you know who Charles Evers was. You was down in Jackson for years, and yet when you headed this organization he helped his family blood sacrifice for, you don't acknowledge the brother's passing. I mean, don't disrespect the John Lewis and Reverend C.T. Vivian, but Charles Evers was a G like no other, man. And he was his brother's keeper, from my understanding, from what I read, is that he had his body cremated, and I think he had some of his ashes sprinkled over his brother's cemetery grave at Arlington Cemetery, excuse me. So I was there. I mean, anyway, I get carried away, man. Let's try to keep this under 3 hours. But anyway, because y'all not getting this information. A lot of people I respect, but a lot of cats ain't hip on our history like that. People talking about Bitcoin, people talking about this and that. They get the information all wrong. I'm trying to just, add something to the narrative. And yeah, Bobby Dick Gregory can make it plain on Medgar Evers. This We All Be News Free Dixie for the 21st century. Hey, hip hop parade. Let me shut up.
Everything's gonna be alright. Got a brand new.
I want to actually ask you, what is your fondest memory of late great Medgar Evers? Can you give me like one memory you have of him?
Medgar Evers?
Yeah, Medgar Evers. Because 50 years, I mean, what? Next month, 50 years. Mm-hmm.
Just a kind brother with a humanity. He was there. He didn't have that entourage, American press.
Mm-hmm.
He did it all by himself. And after they integrated the hotels in Jackson, Mississippi, after they integrated, I was one of the first ones to check in. You know what they had on the billboard outside the hotel?
No, sir.
Welcome, Dick Gregory, room 702.
Wow. Marvin never to that one.
Welcome, Dick Gregory, room 702.
Well, actually, Brother Gregory, what made Medgar, like, was he a charismatic speaker? I mean, could he speak? Could he move a crowd?
Oh yeah, but that wasn't it. He moved in between fear. He didn't have worldwide attention that would embarrass America if he was killed. Worldwide attention he didn't have, but he took care of business. I mean, he took care of business. That was him. And he's NAACP. Yeah, everybody wouldn't think that's a sissy organization. He's NAACP. And man, they would kill you. They'd kill you before they kill a fly. I was there. And when he died, and they arrested Della Beckwith, little poor white boy, he didn't have no money. And how did he get money for the lawyer? President Kennedy, out of all the land on the planet, he bought a $50,000 plot of his land to build a post office on, and that's how he got the money to get the lawyer. And probably didn't know it was a government agent that was the lawyer, because they couldn't afford to have him just any lawyer come in there. And then the power of Medgar Evers, the real dog pimp trick was Reverend Kyles, who King was going to dinner with him.
Reverend Billy Kyles, right? Reverend Billy
Kyles. And they had to change the time because they said it would get a little dark at the time. And he said, the one thing my wife hates is her macaroni and cheese get cold. So King didn't know what he meant. He said, yeah, instead of 6 o'clock, we need to move this to 5 o'clock. Now, Jackson, Mississippi, he was doing PR blitz because he makes big money on the day of April the 4th. So he goes to the whole area. So some kind of way he said this. He said, me and King walked out. Abernathy forgot he hadn't put on his aftershave, so he went back in. So it wasn't nobody on the balcony but two of us. Then he held up his index finger and said, King was here, and I was right next to him. And then he said, so I walked away so he could get a clear shot. Now, had he stopped there, he could have said he's talking about a photographer. He said, then the shot rang out. And I just happen to believe that that's something that Medgar Evers, as in the Bible when it said, and God baffled his mind or her mind. And so Medgar Evers still lives.
Were you ever go to his funeral, Medgar Evers' funeral in Jackson?
Oh, yeah, man. Yo, my God.
I heard a rumor. I heard something. Can you confirm it for me? That Dr. King was not allowed to speak at the funeral because of NAACP. They want him to speak.
Oh, I had no idea. I didn't pay no attention to that. I was so close to Medgar Evers. I wasn't even paying. See, I always believed they was gonna kill me and him the night that I was there because I could see something in the wind, and my 2-month-old son died. And instead of my plane was late coming in, because had my plane got in on time, my clothes would have been at his house, my bags, and Della Beckwith was waiting there to kill us. And then I hugged him at the airport. We had to go to Memphis to get a 2 o'clock flight out. And I said, brother, I love you, and I'm just sorry I won't be here to die with you.
What did you say? What was his response to that?
Huh?
What was his response to what you said? Medgar's response.
Oh, he did. You know, when the great people, they don't respond to nothing like that. They just said, thank you for being here. And I said, we'll do this quick. I used to go down there all the time. Every march he had, I was there. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's amazing to hear Dick Gregory talk about Mega. He humanized Mega, and that's what I love about the documentary. It humanizes Dick Gregory. It showed that he had fears and doubts, and he had struggles like anybody else. The fact that Rob Schneider, who had Dick Gregory in that, I remember the white chick. It was hilarious. Helped see Dick Gregory in that restroom, being the towel handler or whatever. He said that was the reason why he was able to get health insurance for his wife when she broke her arm. The man like that in 2002 had to struggle to pay. I mean, that's life. I think health insurance. Excuse me. I think I said health insurance. He had to struggle with health insurance issues in 2002. Dick Gregory, who made Who's Who among Americans, who did all this profound stuff in the 20th century, who was a millionaire many times over. He made a fortune. He lost a fortune. Couldn't pay the mortgage. Dick went through a lot of stuff. That's why I'm not hating on Nick Cannon and Killer Mike and T.I. all them guys. They want them creature comforts, man. Dick took the road less traveled, man. So even with Mega Evers, Mega was just 37, but Mega had charisma. Mega was a guy, because Mega Evers is the reason why we know about the Emmett Till stuff. This man was risking his life trying to find witnesses for the Emmett Till thing, hiding witnesses, getting them out the state. Mega was a G. And I love Mega Evers. And I'm blessed that I was able to thank his wife and his daughter and his brother, the late great Charles Evers, for this amazing man sacrificing for our people. And like a lot of black folks were afraid of Mega. You have black folks in Jackson, they see Mega coming down the street, they get to the other side of the street, they won't even acknowledge Mega. And like he told his wife, ain't no point of hating nobody because they don't care if you hate them. You just destroying yourself. To paraphrase Mega. So God bless Mega Evers. And let me just play my tribute to Mega, and we could keep it moving. Because we got to honor side. I mean, ain't no knock against no Meg Thee Stallion. But Mega Evers should be better known than Meg Thee Stallion. She ain't been famous that long. Mega made the ultimate sacrifice. He was a warrior for our people. And yeah, this the thanks we give him. Man is a hero. A hero. I've been known by Mega. I'm 41. I've been known by Megas for 30 years. Mega Evers. And the only reason I know about Mega is because I know that it's not the job of the schools to teach us any type of race theory or to teach us about our history or my story. It's our job. Our village got to teach us, because my grandmother had this Black History Special Edition World Book encyclopedia from the 70s. And she would allow me to read. Now, she would not allow me to sit on her couch with the plastic. Y'all know about your folks have the plastic on the couch and stuff. But she allowed me to go into a living room to get that Black History World Book encyclopedia. I just read it for hours. And I learned about Mega Evers and Burt Williams and Paul Robeson and Josephine Baker. That's all. I didn't learn that in no school. Learned it from the encyclopedia. And so I've been known about Mega, and he's been a hero of mine ever since. But I had a chance to honor Mega while I was in the DC area. I went to Arlington Cemetery to pay my respects to Mega. And it's not hard to find Mega Evers' body. Now, Arlington is very big. It's a walk. And you got to remember, I had my boot on my foot. And it was a hell of a walk. But Mega's not that far away from the entrance of Arlington. But anyway, let me play this tribute. And I'm about to close up within 30 minutes, I think. And thank y'all for the donations. We love you madly. Keep them coming. I'm glad I was able to. No, I got my Showtime subscription money back and then some. Blessings upon blessings. Call me now. Okay, anyway, here we go.
Human beings are natural storytellers. The purpose of storytelling.
let me ask you a question.
There was my tribute to Mega Wiley Evers. Man, it was hot as hell that day. I be running fool's errands because the day I wanted to go to pay homage to Mega in Arlington was a day when that was in Maryland, right? It was the summer. The other was like what? It was Sunday. That was like June the 27th. But the week before, I wanted to go on that Thursday when it was in the 70s. I'm out there running a fool's errand. It's almost 100 degrees outside. So I know it looked like it's windy and all that, but man, I'm dealing with it was hot. And I remember the last time I was in Arlington Cemetery, I got lost in Arlington Cemetery. I was dehydrated. They had to get somebody in a car because like there's really no car. You can't drive your car through Arlington. They have a bus tour, but if you're just trying to get somewhere, you're gonna have to walk it. So I had that boot on my foot. So luckily, Mega wasn't hard to find. I was trying to find Lieutenant James Reese Europe again. And now I know where he's at now. I got lost for 10 hours in Arlington the last time. It took me 2 days to find James Reese Europe. I found him in less time. But I just had to pay my tribute. It was amazing being there. Because white folks looking at me, then they see me, that ask me, oh, who is that you're playing to? Who is that? Should we know who that person is? I said, yeah, you should know who that person is. But let me tell you who that person was and why you should honor that person. So it was funny because white folks look at me like I met this couple from Detroit. They came because Joe Louis, the great Joe Louis, is buried in Arlington Cemetery. People don't understand Joe Louis they sacrificed Joe Louis. They blood sacrificed Joe Louis. Joe Louis was a real patriot. Now, he was the reason why Jackie Robinson was able to get in the officer training school. He recommended Jackie Robinson. This man did free boxing exhibitions for Uncle Sam, even gave the government $1 million out of his own money, and yet they used the IRS to destroy Joe Louis. The IRS crucified, they lynched Joe Louis. So this is what it looks like to be a hero. Black men are old. We are old. To be America cannot exist without the sacrifices of the black man. I'm talking about Mega. I'm talking about Dick. I'm talking about Joe Louis, Crispus. People call me Crispus Addicts, Emmett Till, a boy. Black men, until America do right by black men, America ain't gonna go nowhere anytime soon. I remember I looked at I'm gonna move on. I know now this is officially longer than the movie, my review. I got that streak going still. But I remember I looked at a documentary about Baltimore. I think about Douglas High School. The Frederick Douglass, they produced like the Cab Calloway. I think Thurgood Marshall, they went to Douglas. Y'all could correct me from Baltimore. I'm not gonna look at, but it was a white woman who was an educator, a retired educator, I believe. She said, and it stuck with me. She said, until America does right by the black man, America is never gonna live up to its full potential. In so many words, that's what she said. Until America does right by black men, she would never live up to her fullest potential. Because even look at women's rights, the first man feminist was Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass identified as a feminist. He would believe in women's suffrage. You had black men die in the Civil War for our right to have the franchise, but the white women betrayed. You think about Rachel Nichols and this stuff with ESPN. I don't look at all that crap. But black women think that the white woman is her friend. The white women encourage her man to go lynch black people. The white women were the ones raising money for these Confederate monuments y'all want to take down. When has the white woman ever been a friend to black people, in particular black women? White women don't sell out their men. A lot of white women with power didn't care about no voting. They said, we got the ear of our men. We got the pillow talk. We the power behind the throne. See, a lot of people get so misled about things. I'm going to say, I speak of Frederick Douglass. Ida B. Wells' birthday coming up July 16th. They just unveiled a statue, long overdue, for Ida B. Wells in Chicago. And guess what, folks? July 16th, on her birthday, we will be unveiling a statue in her honor near her former business place, the Free Speech and Headlight. She started her newspaper office at First Bill Baptist. That's a black church on Bill Street that still exists to this day. So in Robert Church Park, they're going to unveil a statue, a life-size statue of Ida B. Wells be unveiled on her birthday, July 16th. I am looking forward to that day. But Ida B. Wells had to confront Susan B. Anthony on disinviting Frederick Douglass to a women's suffrage meeting or convention down in Atlanta, because according to Susan B. Anthony, she said that Frederick Douglass would offend the sensibilities of Southern white women. Because the reason why, because his second wife was a white woman who was about around the same age as his daughter. You know, and Frederick Douglass did run on the Equal Rights Party ticket. I think Equal Rights Party. I don't know if I think they nominated him without his consent. He was the vice president nominee, and it was a white woman, Victoria Woodhull. I think that's her name. Y'all look this up. I don't have time for all this. That they was on the Equal Rights Party ticket back in 1872. But Frederick Douglass supported, and then like the white women like Susan B. Anthony had the nerve to say, look, you give us the franchise before you give the black man the franchise. The black men, we fought in every war. We fought in the Revolutionary War. We fought in the Civil War. We fought in the Indian Wars. We fought in every war America wanted us to fight in and made the ultimate sacrifices. But these white women had the nerve, these Karens, you know, the grandmothers of the Karens of the world want to say, hey, forget them Niagaras. Give us the right to vote. Yeah, we know the black man sacrificed. Even the black woman was standing with the brothers. Hey, the brothers deserve the right to vote. But now in this day and age, the black woman think we should vote for our oppressors every time. And it's not all black women, but I'm just saying it's ridiculous how things have turned around. But anyway, I'm ranting and people say, well, you rant emotional. It's not even being emotional. It's called passion, man. A lot of y'all mistake passion for being emotional. No, passion means you care. I care. I care. You should care too. But my thing is I'm passionate. I'm not here. I'm a man. I don't get road rage like a lot of y'all get. Y'all get. My thing is this, like I told a brother, he cut me out in traffic. It was his fault. But he want to blame me. I said, brother. He looked at me like he want to shoot me. I looked at his brother, look. It didn't happen. Whatever accident you think you mad about, it never happened. So keep it moving. Because you was at fault, bro. So my thing is, I'm a cool customer, but this don't piss me off. Because I have a right as a human being to be frustrated, to be angry, to be mad. Even as a man, I can cry, but my thing is, don't feel sorry for yourself. Because everybody go through stuff. I don't care how much money you have or don't have in the bank. Everybody got their trials and tribulations. You know, just stay in your lane and find a way to make it. But anyway, yeah, but man, only black women will put their sexuality before their race. And it used to always be like that. Because our real black leaders, especially when the female, they love black men. You know, Fannie Lou Hamer, Ida B. Wells, our real ones, they love the brothers. They love the idea of having a black family. One of the first things that black folks did was try to find their loved ones after the Civil War. After the Civil War, they were trying to find their loved ones that was broken up by the Institute of Slavery. So family means a lot to black folks. You know, we was able to get our greatest victories in the Civil Rights Movement because of the black family, man, woman, and child being on the same page. The Black Trinity, the real Holy Trinity. Like I was talking about, I was on Sister Kara Dangerous show last week, and I talked about how they were raping black women. The Montgomery police and bus drivers were known for raping black women. And it wasn't until the Montgomery bus boycott took place that all that shit stopped, because you had these black men with guns watching over the sisters, escorting them. You know, we had our carpool. We had black men who were veterans from World War II and Korean War. They were walking around with guns protecting the women. And we could talk about black women entrepreneurs and Black Wall Street, but who created Black Wall Street? It was black men. See, the brothers need to take back their masculinity. We need to be men again. We need to choose to be men. I remember Brother Polite did a video several years ago. This video stayed with me because, you know, he's out in Hollywood at the time. I don't know what Polite is doing right now, but he was talking about how if you want to make it in the industry in Hollywood, you got to either be gay or pretend to be gay. You couldn't be a masculine black man. And it's Judge Joe Brown's birthday, and Judge in the house. He talking about how, you know, they want him to go a certain way with the rainbow agenda, and Judge wouldn't go. He wouldn't bend over, so they had to kick him out of Hollywood, even though he had a very successful TV show, because he wasn't down with it. He wasn't down with the Skittles. He didn't want to taste the rainbow. So they had to go. But We need men, meggers. Mega ever was a man. That what Dick was talking about. Dick, he was a man of action. He said, he didn't have to do all that talking. He was a man of action. He got stuff done. That's why they had to take him out. And I know y'all talking about him being a Mason. Judge Joe Brown a Mason, Prince Hall Masons. I don't care. All that stuff come out of us. That's our stuff. Y'all do realize all that stuff come from us, right? We got to stop letting, like when people tell me, well, you should do your fist. No, I'm doing my way. We got to stop letting them take our stuff. We got to reclaim the rainbow. That's ours. The rainbow is ours. It's like the swastikas ain't Hitler than them. They took it. They stole it. We got to steal that stuff back. And stop apologizing for it. Oh, you getting emotional. No, I'm not. I'm being passionate. It's like people, I love John Coltrane. Oh, he's angry. Look how he plays. And John Coltrane, you could listen to John Coltrane in his own words. He said, I'm not necessarily angry. I'm just trying to find different ways to express myself. There's so many different ways. Sometimes I get overwhelmed. It's like with me, I just get overwhelmed. It's like people say, well, and another thing about the mega thing. Y'all didn't catch that. What Dick said about 702. Like at that hotel, he was staying in room 702. Y'all do know that Mega Ever's birthday is July the 2nd. That's month 7, day 2. So man, it's something beyond this world. I just want y'all to understand that. Dick Gregory let me know every day that there is something beyond what we think is real life. Like I said, Dick Gregory, I don't miss it. Dick Gregory talked to me every day. When I was at his cemetery, at his grave, I was there for 4 hours. I don't care if people think I'm crazy. I don't care. I don't understand how I'm making it. I really don't. I don't understand. I wake up every day and say, how am I still making it? Did I have a nervous breakdown? Or I don't know it. How I'm functional? I don't know. But anyway, I think I'll talk y'all. Did I talk about... I kind of reviewed the movie. Y'all should go see the movie. Like I said, it took them several years longer to make the movie because there's so many different versions. And they got several projects coming out. The biopic, I saw the names I recommend for Dick Gregory, Derek Luke, okay. Don Cheadle, okay. And somebody said Jamie Foxx. And I was thinking about Jamie Foxx early. I said, he could pull it off, though. He's a hell of an actor. Jamie Foxx played Ray Charles, won an Oscar for that. He plays Tookie Williams. He about to play Mike Tyson. Jamie Foxx is like the man with 1,000 faces, and he does voice. I mean, I think Jamie could pull out Dick Gregory. But I would like to see an unknown get a chance. Don Cheadle, I'm still disappointed about the Miles Davis biopic. They just could have just told the truth about Miles Davis, stop making up all this BS. Because Miles Davis' actual life is very interesting. Like Dick Gregory, they had to make up a lot of stuff about Dick Gregory. His actual life is amazing. Let me see. Oh yeah, I gotta play this Michael Jackson thing. I wish it was included in the documentary, but Dr. Christian Gregory, Dick Gregory, is executive of his estate. His son, fellow Taurus, great man. Shout out to Dr. Christian Gregory. He talked about his father's close relationship with Michael Jackson, and I want to say it in his words, it's hilarious. Oh my God, I wish it was video footage of Dick Gregory doing this, but who knows? Something might turn up. But I'm gonna play this, and then we're about to wrap it up. Give some special shout outs. You understand? This is We All Be News Free Dixie for the 21st century. Thank y'all for the donations, for the moderators. We love you madly, and for being patient and know that the best is yet to come. Do you remember the time?
This is Brother Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
recently heard Run DMC doing an interview that they were supposed to do a collaboration with Michael, and DMC was startled when Bubbles ran up on him and he hit Bubbles, and there was no and Michael never called back. The collaboration was over, and so I quickly realized, knowing all of the true stories, that the only person that ever hit Bubbles and learned to still and lived to still have a loving relationship with Michael Jackson was Dick Gregory. When now let me explain it. I'm glad it's not, because Peter would Peter had a great relationship with Dick Gregory, but they would have had to cut him loose on this one. So my dad had a different relationship with animals. I mean, the civil rights movement, dogs weren't pets. Dogs were on leashes. They were ferocious. They were trained to go after black people. So whenever he saw an animal, he always moved away from it. And so he tells the story, and I've heard it multiple times, and it's never changed. And I heard it from Michael too, and my sister Lynn, I believe, was there. And so he said, out of the corner of his eye, he saw some shit coming at him, and he said he knew it was little, it was wearing a tux, and he didn't know what the fuck. He kicked the shit out of Bubbles. Bubbles slid across the room. Michael screamed. And Pop was like, "What the? You got this little nigga running up on me with a tuxedo and a fucking diaper?"
Oh my God, I wish I saw it.
And so Michael screamed. And then the new protocol was, whenever Dick comes over, put Bubbles in the back. And so, it wasn't Dick's not allowed to come over anymore. It just was, they had to Dick Gregory proof Bubbles. So, and it was, I mean, there's so many stories. But yes, he had a wonderful relationship with Michael. He was there when Sony was doing some real nasty things to Michael Jackson. Some real, right now we sit here, where I think they call it the Havana syndrome, where some have been using microwave signals, and people in U.S. intelligence have been getting quite sick. I don't know. Lasers, sound. I know we've moved away from guns and bullets a long time ago. So I don't know. I mean, lasers make planes crash all the time. So I don't know. But what I do know is, if someone did play a hand in killing Michael Jackson, there's lots of it, even with Prince. I mean, there's a lot that still needs to be explained to, and part of it, some of it's the lifestyle. I mean, the pain that these people have that we don't, in Prince. You think you're both Dick Gregory fans? Yeah. I've never met a bigger Dick Gregory fan than Prince. I mean, Prince had a segment when you walked into his home, just a shrine to Dick Gregory. I mean, it was off-putting. I mean, just a shrine to Dick Gregory. And my dad and I, we were connecting in Minneapolis, and Prince ran over, gave my dad the world's biggest hug. And, that brother was always fly, always the folks around him. Wow. And you would have thought my dad knew every Prince song by the way they were talking. Prince turned and walked away. My pops said, "Who was that little motherfucker?" He had no idea who he was talking to. He had no, but he'll roll with you. Hey, but how's the family? How's it this? He'll roll with you. He won't say, "Hey, I don't know you," because sometimes he just needs a gentle, but who was that little motherfucker? And I said, "Pop, that little motherfucker is Prince." I said, "He's one of the biggest, iconic recording artists in the world."
What is this thing with Dick and musicians? Like, I know a guy from Memphis named Charles Lloyd. He talked about how Dick came to his birthday at the Kennedy Center. He's a great jazz saxophonist.
Oh, I was there. I was there.
It's his birthday.
Yeah. I was there. What is
this thing with him and musicians?
It was back then, so much has changed. Back then, comedy and musicians always shared stages. So, my dad would be sometimes he would open, sometimes they would open, but the piece at the Kennedy Center you're talking about, they were trying to kind of bring that energy back. That wasn't that terribly long ago, but they were trying to bring that energy back of having Dick Gregory do comedy. I have some great photographs from that night that I'll share with y'all.
Yeah, I just wish it was some footage of him kicking bubbles across the room. I thought I just look at Gregory. Christian, he got that gift, man. He got the gift of gab. He's like his father. He's definitely his father's son. So yeah, so that's, let me see. Keep it moving. Y'all, it's worth seeing. The Paul Mooney is not in the documentary, but actually Dick Gregory's road manager, she actually was helping Paul Mooney. She was Paul Mooney's manager as well. She's in the movie talking about Dick will go off on her, fire her, and then rehire her back. You know, like I said, Dick only if he really love you, he'll curse you out, and then he'll say, "How's the family?" And then you'll be back in his good graces. He didn't hold grudges like that. You know, Dick was an interesting guy, was a one of a kind guy. Well, you know, they were real close. And the thing about Dick Gregory, you know, he got his start through Hugh Hefner, Playboy guy. And Bill Cosby was known for hanging out at the Playboy Mansion. And like Bill Cosby said, Dick is the reason why he has a career. So Dick was like his big brother. You know, it'd been beautiful. But Dick, you know, like I was blessed to be able to talk to Dick about the Cosby situation as early as 2014. And Dick knew what time it was. Like he said, you know, do a public records request. You find out that Mr. Cosby had more oil on his property than Kuwait. And that stuff wasn't about women. Like Judge said, don't confuse victims with accusers. You got to prove that he was a rapist. It's like with Al Capone. People say Al Capone's a killer, right? But they never proved in the court of law that he was a killer. He never been convicted of being a killer. He got convicted on income tax evasion, right? So, guys, if you know, or I heard, you didn't prove it in the court of law. It's like with Bill Cosby. They never proved it. He didn't go to jail for raping nobody. But they say he's convicted rapist. They never proved their case. They didn't have enough evidence to prove the case. But that's another story. But I'm saying our people, that's when you get emotional. When you're not dealing with logic, you be passionate and deal with logic. But if you been, I feel that he's guilty. No, do you know? Can you prove it? What Alonzo Harris said in Training Day, Denzel, it ain't what you know, what you can prove. And so, I mean, like, it is what it is, but we'll do a Cosby show. But let me get on out of here. But before I go, give a shout out. And it should be interesting. Shout out to those two among many, but give a shout out to Andre Gaines for having the vision and the conviction and the testicular fortitude dealing with Baba verbal lashings, and also just dealing with creating this amazing documentary, the one and only Dick Gregory. So I had to honor the brother. We all be Lifetime Achievement Award for using his creative genius in the service of humanity. And also, I got Lena Waif over there. I got Lena Waif. Brother Ron, what you talking about? You got Lena Waif? She was executive producer on this thing, and that's the reason why they was able to connect with Showtime. Now, Lena Waif is an artist, an artivist in her own right. There's a lot of things she does that I don't agree with artistically. I didn't really care for the movie Queen and Slim. I thought it could be way better if they had actually did the movie about Robert F. Williams and Mabel Williams. But, you know, but also I like the fact that she was involved in creating Damn for Amazon Prime. I thought that was a great show. I know a lot of y'all talking about black trauma porn, Black Lives Matter trauma porn. But no, that's American history. It's our story. It's how they treat us, man, with redlining. Donald Trump did not invent redlining. It always been here. They always screwing us over, whether it be 40 Acres and a Mule, whether it be Black Wall Street, whether it be anything. Black folks always got a raw deal in America. Yeah, we the most patriotic, but she has done things like I told her to her face. I said, look, and she's a fellow Taurus. I think her birthday May 17th. So she's a Taurus like I am. And I said, I respect the fact that you help put black folks in front of as well as behind the camera. And that she has done things to help amplify black voices that have been marginalized. Now, you got to understand when Lena Waif, I mean, I like the first 2 seasons of the show. I have yet to see season 3, or I think there's a season 4, and I like them. But the Queen of Slim, it was problematic for me. I'm trying to look at Master of None. I haven't got through the first episode, but I like the fact that she's amplified traditionally marginalized voices. I don't have no problem with people's lifestyle. I don't have no problem with, she's an artist, but also she's active in our community. Because you got to think about it. The black folk we got to help create our images. She's okay. Lena Waithe, Issa Rae, Tyler Perry, Spike Lee. I like a little bit of all what they have done. Now, there's some things I'm critical of. It's constructive criticism, but it's not personal. So my thing is, I just want to encourage her to keep on keeping on in terms of highlighting our people's struggles. I don't care about the other stuff. You know, she's a part of that crowd. But thank you for helping us get the word out about the greatness of Dick Gregory. Hopefully, when you do the biopic, y'all can stick to telling the truth about Dick Gregory. I don't have to we call it embellish anything, because Dick Gregory, he's like a folk hero. I mean, he's a superhero. You don't have to make up anything about Dick Gregory, because the stuff is too, it can't, okay, like look at the Wolf of Wall Street. Dick Gregory life is like that. I mean, Dick Gregory has those type of stories for real. I mean, they said the dude in the Wolf of Wall Street, that actually happened to him. But Dick Gregory got an amazing story. His life was a movie. And I remember Baba would tell me, Ron, if your life is a movie, don't let what happened to you at 4 years old be the theme of you. If you've been abused, sexually abused at 4, don't let that be the theme of your movie if you live to be 104. Because you got, because you're cheating yourself. So with that, Andre Gaines, thank you so much, brother. I remember when that brother reached out to me back in 2015 about he was doing a documentary on Dick Gregory. And I didn't know who the brother was. I talked to Dick Gregory. Oh, yeah. And okay, he run the fool's errand. But he was able to get Hollywood back in so fast. Cause I remember reading an article where, he had Judd Apatow, which is problematic to me because, the way he go out to Bill Cosby, then Bill Maher, I think they were behind the project early. Then he finally got to Lena Waithe and Kevin Hart. Shout out to Kevin Hart. I got him an award too. But he wasn't there. He was shooting a film in Budapest. So we'll get at him later. But man, if you look at the people I gave these Lifetime Achievement Awards to, you found a problem with everyone because they human. I gave one to Tariq Nasheed. I gave one to Dr. Umar Johnson, Judge Joe Brown, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. A lot of interesting people. Dick Gregory got one. The King family, the Malcolm X's family got one. So I'm not just a podcaster. I do stuff in the community. I got my own nonprofit with grassroots organized. I'm always doing stuff. And I think Dick Gregory recognized the kindred spirit in me. And I thank him for encouraging me and for giving me the guidance and really investing in me. So he called me the feeder, so I'm feeding my people. But yeah, shout outs to Andre Gaines and Lena Waithe, Kevin Hart, and all the folks who worked on this amazing project. And I know that the best is yet to come. Like I said, this is like the 5th version. They had 4 other Dick Gregory docs done. Then all this other information started coming out. And Baba Dick Gregory will always have the last word. So anyway, I think I kept y'all entertained or infotained long enough. Thank y'all for supporting. Thank for all the donations, for the moderators. We love you madly. Sister Teresa Walker, we love you madly. Let me see. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank y'all for encouraging me, for supporting, because your investment is going to a good cause. Like, that was my first road trip of the summer, going up to New York. Like I drove to Maryland, took the mega bus up to New York, drive back. I drove 1,000 miles each way with one leg for the people, man. Because y'all say we love you, Brother Ron. We love you madly. Thank you to Sister Teresa Walker, Brother Howard Tegner, Brother Michael, all the people who chat and donations, moderators. Thank y'all. It's funny. I have a hard time trying to do a show, get started, but I just can't know. I don't know how to leave. So I'm gonna leave now. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Thank y'all. If you like the words from Brother Herb, please support the platform. Subscribe to We All Be TV on YouTube. You can cash out your support, $R2C2H2. You can Google Pay, PayPal, and Zelle your support at R2C2H2 at gmail.com, Vimo at R2C2H2, and buy Artivist Art, R2C2H2.com. You'll actually buy and wear it. It's my Three Kings shirt. Dick Gregory, Paul Mooney, and Richard Pryor. Actually went down to the ATL Shorty. Had Dick Gregory and Paul Mooney autographed the actual drawing. Missed out on Richard, man. A little bit too late on Richard, but man, I lived a very charmed life, you know, in spite of the struggles. This just come with the territory, but it's such a blessing to be blessing to people I may never meet, but we have a meeting of the minds, and y'all let me know in public, you know. It's like sometimes Brother Ron don't get any respect, but the streets let me know. It's amazing. People know. Like I was at Dick Gregory's homecoming. People show me love at the homegoing, in the streets and stuff. It's amazing. I just had no idea. If I base it on my views on YouTube, I think I'm not reaching anybody. But okay, whatever. Love you, Maddie. Thank you so much for y'all support. Oh man, this is crazy. Not crazy, it's crazy in a good way. But let me read. I can't believe, man, it's been over 2 hours. Oh, I talk too much. Man, get y'all out of here. I'm gonna read a disclaimer and then I'll send y'all on y'all way. Thank y'all. Thank you. Cause y'all could be anywhere. Y'all don't have to be listening to me. I'm just average man. Disclaimer: the views expressed by hosts and guests on the We All Be TV platform are not the official views, opinions, beliefs, or perspectives of We All Be News or the We All Be Group, Inc. We All Be News is an organization that thoroughly believes in supplementing the information narrative that is usually supplied by the corporate news entities with those viewpoints and expressions which may be marginalized or ignored for a plethora of reasons. We are about informing the general public on alternative perspectives as it relates to news and information, and letting the general public be the ultimate judge in deciding on how to use said information. Informed citizens are responsible citizens. Thank you for your support. Thank you all so much for tuning in and not just tuning out. The words of Great Skeleton. We love you madly. Keep on producing and pushing. Sign it off, Brother Ron. And know that the best is yet to come.